myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. Got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help. I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son. I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up. Whole team with me. But known for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babble if they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this and you're in your element with a fire like this. And they hoping you fall and they praying you miss. But it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. 155 on the road. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, flow is like water. I'm forced through the fire, I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding, you do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center, word to Spike Lee. And God came in the nick of time. They think I'm crazy, but I might be. Let's run it up, run it up, run it up. We beating the odds just to sum it up. You know it's a rap, never waistlines, and I'm cutting the weight like a tummy tuck. That mean I'm about to give it out right now. You see what's coming down the line, I never pipe down. I give 100% and be trying to stun on my enemies. In my element is crazy, it's the mic sign. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. Foot on the gas. 155 on the road. You can be a friend of me, an enemy. That's still my energy, cause I know I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Never switch up. 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 Whoa! Who knew I?
Yeah, ETP. Good evening, good afternoon, good day. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Clap it up. Let's go. We're back at it with another one. We're back at it with another segment, man. It is fight week. Fight week, fight week, fight week. Hit the like button as you step into the building. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment to go ahead and do that as well. We got a lot to talk about today. Of course, we're heading into Keyshawn Davis versus Nahir Albright. We'll go over that card today, man. That fight seems to be going under the radar a little bit. I don't know. People just aren't talking about it as much as I thought they would. Is the fight selling? I'm wondering how it's doing over there in Virginia. I don't know if I care as much. I can tell you this. Keyshawn Davis has never been part of a boring fight that I've witnessed. So I don't need the arena to sell out for me to be excited about seeing that fight. But it is what it is. This is the redemption fight. We know what Keyshawn Davis is coming off the back end of a great performance in New York, stopping, right? I was going to say knocking out, but stopping Jermaine Ortiz. And of course, before that, what happened in Virginia. So this is an opportunity at redemption. Some people say this is not the fight we asked for. I've heard across the space that, we didn't ask for this fight. I hear you. I get it. I hear you to a certain degree. I think the boxing space is ready to see Keyshawn Davis in the biggest fights, the most competitive fights, signature fights. We want to see him in there with the Devin Haney's. We want to see him get a title shot at 140. Shoot, there's a lot of people who want to see him in there with Shakur, right? They want to see him in there with Shakur. So it is what it is, but I have a feeling this fight is going to be super interesting. To see Keyshawn Davis dominate potentially a Nahir Albright after a performance like he had with Frank Martin will be significant. And of course, Nahir Albright gets an opportunity to show that he's been leveling up in the game. He's been on a bit of a winning streak, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing ever since the Keyshawn Davis fight. And, we know that fight, if you watched it, he hurt Keyshawn in that fight. He's the only time I've ever seen Keyshawn hurt in his professional career. A very close split decision victory for Keyshawn Davis, but we know mentally Keyshawn Davis wasn't there where he is potentially today, dealing with mental health issues, and he was smoking weed to cope with whatever he had going on during that camp. And listen, the fight ended up being a no contest. Well, first of all, it was a victory for Keyshawn officially as far as on the night. But, after they reviewed it because of the marijuana situation, they didn't go ahead and take away that victory, made it no contest. So it's the closest thing to a blemish that Keyshawn Davis has had on his record. So him getting an opportunity to rectify this for himself, it is what it is, right? Rumor has it, well, not even rumor, right? Keyshawn Davis spoke on this and said that, this is not a fight that he wanted for himself, really didn't feel like he needed to have this fight to prove anything. And I think he's right. I don't think he needs to fight Nahir Albright. Is anybody in here questioning, the Nahir Albright fight? No, nobody's questioning that. But that being said, does that take away from the possibilities of this fight being very competitive, being that Keyshawn Davis has been dominating fighters throughout his whole career, and the Nahir Albright is the one kink in the armor that you could point at? I think Nahir Albright is more than capable of making this fight a real fight. Shoot, I think he's capable of winning this fight. You know what I mean? He comes in with those intangibles. And that being said, as a boxing fan, we benefit. We get a chance to see a really great fight, right? On that undercard, we got the return of Brian Norman Jr. on that undercard. That is going to be we're all going to be looking for our own different things, right? Maybe people are going to say, who the hell is Josh Wagner? Who the hell is these guys fighting? Listen, he's coming back. He's not with his father anymore. Brian Norman Sr. is no longer head trainer for Brian Norman Jr. He'll be coming into the ring on this one with Ronnie Shields. We know Ronnie Shields and Brian Norman Jr. and Errol Spence Jr., right? Ronnie Shields has been getting the stable together. We're all excited to see what Brian Norman Jr. does with Ronnie Shields. I think that's actually a great dynamic there, and I'm very interested in seeing how that works out inside the ring. We'll talk about that with the addition of Ronnie Shields, what that potentially means, what we're looking forward to see going into that situation. Of course, what else are we talking about? Of course, we have to talk about Vasily Lomachenko coming back from retirement. Where was this guy at? I thought he was done with boxing on the back end of an expired contract with Top Rank. So we'll talk about that, because where will Vasily Lomachenko end up landing? He says he only wants the biggest, the most signature fights that he can get involved in. Is he going back to Top Rank? I don't know. I don't know if he would he have waited this long if he was going back to Top Rank? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe that's a big announcement. Maybe there's some big production deal that the Zone has given Top Rank that's given them the ability to give Vasily Lomachenko an offer he can't refuse, right? Or we know what the elephant in the room is, of course, Turki Al-Sheikh giving fighters their biggest paydays. How is he working with Turki Al-Sheikh for one big signature fight? What might that fight be? And, there's many ways you could be working with Turki Al-Sheikh, right, ladies and gentlemen? You don't have to sign directly to Turki Al-Sheikh. You can do what? Zuffa boxing. What? Yeah, Zuffa boxing, right? A lot of people are rumoring that Vasily Lomachenko may be going to Zuffa boxing. It makes sense. I can tell you that. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But what does that mean? As Zuffa boxing continues to move into the traditional space, will Vasily Lomachenko be competing for a Zuffa belt? Or is there a likely chance that he's actually trying to look at bigger and better things for himself? Clearly, by the way, Dana White has shown his capability and his willingness to facilitate these big fights on the back end of rumors of Shakur Stevenson also potentially being in negotiations with Zuffa boxing as well. Guys, Raymond Muratalla walks away from the negotiation table, says Shakur is not really trying to make a fight. He's interested in activity. Listen, man, what does that mean for Shakur Stevenson? If it's not going to be Raymond Muratalla next, on the back end of rumors with Zuffa boxing, I'm not trying to put him and Vasily Lomachenko in the ring necessarily, but if it fits, right? If it don't fit, you must have quit. But if it does fit, maybe it's legit. I just made that up on the fly. Shout out to Freestyle Claymore in the building. Freestyle Claymore with the lyricism, hitting y'all with the bars. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. But if it does fit, then it may be legit. Yeah. Stop cooking me. I didn't say I was a rapper, bro. But it did rhyme. Anyway, that being said, we'll be talking about that, of course. What are we looking forward to see from Shakur? What are we looking forward to see from Lomachenko? More than likely, this is going to bleed into what do we expect to see from Zuffa boxing, right? Because maybe that's the bigger conversation. It's been the conversation. It's been the elephant in the room. It's been the most talked about topic. Zuffa boxing, right? This on the back end of Devin Haney signing rumors, right? Teofimo Lopez potentially being part of that conversation. There's a lot of things happening in Zuffa boxing in spite of all of the pushback. There's a lot of conversations happening with Zuffa boxing, and it's in the traditional space, right? In the traditional space is where the conversations are happening. It's not on the league side. The league side has been doing what the league has been doing. We just came off of a beautiful Zuffa 6 this weekend, of course. But there's been so much conversation going on in the traditional space. I think at this point, if you're not at least asking yourself, at a minimum, what in the hell is going on, then you're probably just in denial, right? I've been asking myself what the hell is going on, and I've had my own ideas of what I think is going on. If you guys haven't caught my video on that hybrid promotion takeover, I think that's what we're looking at potentially here. I think we're looking at a lot of things are moving around here, right? So we'll talk about that as well because at the end of the day, if Vasily Lomachenko's coming back, we got to see what's going to end up happening. And we'll talk about the Keyshawn Davis undercard as well. I know there was a press conference today. I didn't get a chance to catch it. I was tired, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I went to sleep. Came home from work and I went to sleep. I was sleeping all day. But maybe one of the panelists, you know what I'm saying, will have some information on it. I don't know. Oh, guess what else came out? Jai Opetaia looks like he's in last minute. He's in the final stages of negotiations to fight against Noel McKillian. I hope McKillian. I don't know. I don't know if it's McKillian, McLean. I don't know, right? But the WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the world. This looks like it's very real. Coming out of Australia, that this negotiation is happening for this fight to happen in the U.S. in August. He'll be fighting. If he does fight Noel McKillian, it'll be for that WBC title. Also, Turki Al-Sheikh seems to be bankrolling the official lawsuit that will be challenging the IBF rule to strip Jai Opetaia. So he may be picking that belt up as well. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's getting nasty here in these boxing streets. And it seems like we're getting closer and closer and closer to the inconvenient truth. And I say inconvenient to other promoters or other people who don't want to see Zuffa boxing operate in this space. Looks like Zuffa boxing is not just doing the league. Looks like they're going to be in the traditional space. Looks like they're going to be representing sanctioned and body belts. They'll be paying sanctioned and body fees. Their fighters will be competing. You're going to be seeing Zuffa boxers hold sanctioned and body belts. This opens up a whole nother can of worms. Is the space going to catch up to the Joneses? The Joneses being Zuffa boxing, right? Because if Zuffa boxing is operating on a boxing league, providing opportunities for prospect contenders and people developing their careers, and also giving a lane, building a bridge for their fighters on coming out of that league to get into the sanctioned and body traditional space, Zuffa boxing has literally built a whole entire ecosystem that is built around building super fighters, right? Think about it. We'll talk about it, right? They're building super fighters. They're putting their fighters in recovery. They're working them out. They're giving them the facility. They're giving them the insurance, the nutrition. They're giving them the marketing. They're doing all that. They're putting them on WWE platforms, bringing them in there. They're cross-promoting them. And then ultimately, the finished product gets put on the big stage for big belts, for big money against fighters. So it's almost going to be catch-up season for a lot of people if they don't catch up to what's going on. We'll talk about all that stuff and then some. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button right now. Do that right now. Subscribe to the channel, man. We got the takes. It's the only take that matters, bro. We talk directly to the boxing space. It's not about emotions and feelings and fanatic and biased talk and no objective reasoning. Listen, man, of course the link is going to go out. That's going to become the regular thing here. The link will drop. So stay tuned, stand by. If you got anything you want to talk to as far as on the talking points that we're talking about today, get it together, man, because you will get an opportunity to express your thoughts and, confront me on some of my ideas. Maybe somebody going to come up here and cook me and say, hey, bro, I heard what you were saying. I've been waiting all day. I'm cooking you, bro. You out of your mind, Clay. What in the hell you think you talking about, bro? You diabolical, bro. I might have to get cooked. It is what it is, man. Keep it respectful, man. Before we get going any further here, let me go ahead and bring up the panelists, my guys, the co-host, my guy Ray Davis, my guy Angelo Reyes in the building. have a great conversation today, gentlemen. So much to talk about today, bro. I've been dying. I haven't told none of y'all really what the topics is. I wanted it to be fresh off the press. I wanted it off the McGriddle, off the George Foreman grill. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it hot. Wanted to get it hot. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. I was hitting the wrong. What's that, Kyle? I was trying to hit the clap button. The button with the applause, and I took Angelo over there. Hold on, let it go. Yeah, I literally clapped you, Angelo. I literally clapped you, bro. I literally clapped you.
I'll clap for you, though, Angelo.
Yeah, for sure, man. I definitely want to get your guys' opinion. We got so much to talk about today, gentlemen. So first things first, guys, how are you doing? One by one, however you feel it. But I'm just interested. Are we good? How are we doing mentally? How the kids doing? How the family doing? Is it raining over there? Tell me all. Let me know. Let Dr. Claymore hear your problems. How's everything going today for you, sir?
Age before beauty, man. Go ahead, Angelo.
Oh, age before beauty. That's fine, bro. Hey, I'm excited about the schedule release, Ray. So Claymore doesn't know the Raiders are coming to New York on the 14th, or on week 14.
So we'll see you over here then, huh?
So, yeah, I guess we'll see about them Raiders over here, bro. Just tell them to be cool, be nice. Check in. You heard? Check in. Be nice. The city could be a very lovely place. We have a lot of attractions, a lot of places to visit, but it can also be a fucking nightmare.
Don't be distracted by that, Angelo.
It could be there are a lot of dark alleys in New York, Ray. There's a lot of dark alleys. So I'm gonna stay on the main street, on the main road. You heard?
Yeah, that's true. Listen, man. So you coming over here? Is it?
I won't be able to make that trip. Doctors won't allow that.
Okay. But it's gonna be
especially in the winter, bro, when everybody's sick.
Nah, you'd be all right.
My immune compromised ass.
Week 14, we probably won't even get snow yet, man.
Yeah,
probably won't even be snow, just a lot of rain. But I hear you.
Yeah, no. Just that, transplant life, Ray, is a complicated life, bro. So,
yeah, you gotta be play safe rather than sorry, bro. It's like, you might be right. I got a homie with a private jet, man. He fly private jets. I'm gonna have to give you the.
Hey, man, one day, Ray, you never know, bro. You never know what God wants to give us, right? You never know. Private jet sounds good. Maybe we're all doing a private jet to Riyadh one day. You never know.
You know what?
You never know.
I'm gonna have to ask him that question if I can hit your ride to Riyadh, bro.
Yeah.
So how you feeling though, Jelly? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Like as you know, Clay, mental health therapy. It's Mental Health Month, by the way, guys. So please check on your mental health always, especially for the men. It's something that's oftentimes left out. But yeah, I did my therapy session yesterday. That was a really good session. Just checks and balances, drills to stretch your brain, stuff like that, right? Anger management, Clay, a very important part. You know what's crazy that I never even realized, but this is something that maybe you guys knew. But did you know that anger is an addiction? Did you know this?
Yeah. 100%. I believe it. I didn't know it, but I 100% believe it.
Like I was like a gambling addiction, and it was like, yeah, man, people are addicted to anger. I'm like, damn. I started thinking in my head, but I was thinking in my head, like some of the people that just be angry all the time.
I'm about to say, bro,
I was going to say that.
You see here every week. Every week we watch motherfuckers with anger addictions, bro.
What I was going to say is hence the word misery loves company, right? Because they live through anger to see somebody else come to their level. They try to, it's like their anger, what they want to bring you to their level. Yeah, I do that all the time.
But listen, they don't even, I used to tell Ray this all the time. He might not remember, maybe he'll remember this.
I remember. Listen, I'm a completely different person.
Maybe you do remember, right? But at the end of the day, I used to tell him that people are angry and they don't even know why they're angry. You know what I'm saying? Like they just instinctively are angry, right? So you saying they don't even know why they're having the outburst, why they're reacting that way, why they're taking everything so personal. They're just reacting. So you can't even expect them to. These conversations always came from why, right? Why the hell are they acting like that? And I used to tell them they can't answer that question for themselves. So you think for 1 second they're going to answer it to you? They don't know why they mad. You just gotta, at the end of the day, and by the way, the diagnosis, the disease, the addiction is called cynicism, right? It's cynical. That's the name of the disease. If you wonder what it is called, it's called you got the cynicism. Oh, you cynical. You know what I mean? Like rabies. Oh, you cynical. You just can't help it. You just see the cup half empty. You know what I mean? You never see it half full. It's just the way you are. So, yeah, bro, without a doubt, I believe what your therapist said to you, Ray, is facts. When you said that, I'm like, hell yeah. I never heard of it, by the way. It was the first time I ever heard of it.
No, because we were talking about like just that part of your brain, right? Whether it's gambling or shopping or whatever, there's all these addictions. But when he brought up anger being an addiction, Clay, and he started talking about the chemical imbalances that happen in your brain and the whole bit, it was funny to me because I'm like, damn, we might be dealing with that every week, Clay, on the channel. Bro.
Boxing fans have got the cynicism.
People that
boxing fans have got the cynicism, bro. Boxing fans have got the cynicism. Right now, boxing fans, let me see what the cynicism is about right now. Right now, it's about Boots. Accountability to Boots is angering a lot of Boots fans. They don't want, he shouldn't have to prove nothing to us. He's done everything. They don't want to hear about Boots. They got the cynicism. The people got the cynicism about Shakur, right? Because Shakur should have fought Raymond Muratalla because that fight ain't happening. Shakur ducking Raymond, so they got the cynicism. You know what I'm saying? People are upset. You know what I mean? People are upset at David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? They got the cynicism. He's never gonna fight nobody. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to let him do his thing. They got the cynicism. That's what I'm gonna start doing, bro. That's what it is, bro. It's the cynicism. A lot of people
got the cynicism disease, man. Yeah. Look at it all half full rather than half empty. Yeah, but yeah, no. Speaking of which, and again, as you guys know, at ATP Combat, all the things that that Claymore said about what the channel tries to do, the one thing we will not do to you guys is not give you facts. So there's certain things that we do know, and I've been certain ones that I can share, certain ones that I can't. But what was it, Ray Davis? 4 weeks ago, I told you all the Jai Opetaia was fighting in July, and looks like it's already done. Now again, I'm only saying that now, Clay, because other people are reporting it. But I already knew it was in the works of getting done. But
I mean,
Noel McCallan, WBC belt, July 12th, Las Vegas. Come on over, guys.
No, I heard August. It's in July. I heard it's in August.
No, it's in July. It's in July. Unless they move it to Riyadh, because Mauricio doesn't want to do.
I heard it's in Vegas. I heard it August.
No, it's in Vegas. So what it was originally, or what it was when I was even talking to you about it before, Clay, what it was International Fight Week, July 12th. Obviously, Jai Opetaia brings the Polynesian community, the Australian community, the New Zealand community. It would be a big deal. Noel McCallan would also bring his people over, right? That would be a big deal. The biggest deal, Claymore, would be, is Mauricio Sulaiman going to get in the way? And it's looking more and more like he will not. So maybe Mauricio finally learned his lesson until,
It's so funny.
All money's good money, baby.
That's what I was going to tell you. We already know. And we already know they've been in talks with Zuffa about having unifications, especially with the Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben situation. So the WBC has definitely been looking to not part ways, but make waves in Zuffa and work with Zuffa and have these fighters come over and fight on other platforms if Dana allows it. Because right now they look like they're structuring to be a promotional company as well as a league until everything's passed and they can go their way. Then you also have the WBO champion coming over there. So I don't see anything going on with that. I don't hear any complaints. The WBA, I believe, even has their rulings over there. The problem I only see is just the IBF was the only issue. And I've been making a statement across the YouTube space and explaining to people what other sanctioning body had an issue with it besides initially Mauricio Sulaiman making his complaints. But you see he's quickly retracting because, like you just said, he's about that green. And I don't mean that belt he got that he represents. Talk about them greenbacks, bro. And that's all he cares about. And as long as it helps, he'll take care of that. Good point.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the other thing again. And when you're talking to the other spaces, Ray, just explain this to them, man. It's simple.
I do.
In 2026, the Zuffa belt, there is no unification, guys. Like, don't even use that word. The Zuffa belt is a trophy belt. And until it is no longer a trophy belt, that's all it'll ever be, which is why the IBF's going to get sued, which is why they're going to end up settling. There's just why Jai Opetaia is going to end up getting that belt back anyway, because all Zuffa belt is in 2026 is a trophy belt. The legal, and I know, Clay, you're saying to me, Angelo, you're preaching to them about semantics. I'm just saying, according to the law, That's what it is. So stop saying even like the WBC's unifying with the Zuffa belt. There's no unification. No unification. None of that's happening.
Yeah, I think that's what I
WBC
think. Yeah, and I think that's why words are so important. That, that was kind of like why I went on my little thing on Roy Jones on Tuesday, was just because when you don't understand, you don't understand. Words are powerful, and they're taking what they heard Dana White saying about not acknowledging the sanctioning bodies and not realizing he was describing what to expect from the boxing league, right? What was going to happen. But here it is, by the way, guys. I want to read it off real quick to you guys a little bit on the news article here. This right here coming out of Fox Sports Australia, right? Combat Sports says Australian superstar Jai Albright has agreed to terms for a U.S. blockbuster against WBC cruiserweight champ Noel McKellian, with the only delay now being a difficult Don King, right? So Don King wants his money. The surprise revelation comes as Timo Opataya has also declared that the Saudi billionaire Turki Al-Sheikh is ready to bankroll a massive lawsuit aimed at reclaiming the fighter's IBF title. Only months after being sensationally stripped of the IBF cruiserweight title, Fighting Words can reveal Opataya is now readying for a surprise showdown with McKellian, the WBC champ who has previously trained alongside Tim Tszyu. Opataya's manager, Mick Francis, confirmed the two camps have already agreed to terms. The Tasman fighter's boss then added that the sole delay now surrounded the fight is the aging Don King, proving a little difficult. Regardless, the proposed date is August and Las Vegas likely location. The announcement comes as Francis has vowed to have Albright reinstated as an IBF cruiserweight king, declaring the alternative will be a massive lawsuit bankrolled by Al-Sheikh. So we'll find out who has the deeper pockets. The Aussie manager boss warned. Despite suggestions Opataya has been lined up for Englishman Chris Billiam Smith next, over even pitched into a mega fight with David Benavidez, Francis confirmed the WBC showdown is now just waiting agreement from the champion's promoter King. The deal with McKellian is pretty well done, he said. The only issue we have is Don King at 94 years old, still proving to be a little difficult. The fight should have actually been locked away weeks ago. We're just working through some last-minute changes. But we've already agreed to terms, and I suggested the fight will be sometime around August and most likely in the U.S. We're just waiting on contracts to be signed. Francis then revealed he also isn't done with the IBF, who stripped Opataya shortly after signing on as a new poster boy of Dana White's Zuffa boxing stable. We're not letting that issue slide, Francis stressed. My prediction is Jai Opataya will be reinstated as IBF champion. Otherwise, there is going to be a massive lawsuit. And if that's the case, we'll find out who has deeper pockets. And I think Zuffa, Dana White, and Turki Al-Sheikh have the deeper pockets. And then it goes into Tim Tszyu news. So listen, they're actively working in the background during the quiet time. And shout out to Angela Reyes, who's been trying to keep on telling you guys that there is a lawsuit in the works and that it's not just going to lay down that way. And this IBF situation isn't as clear-cut, black and white as people would have you believe it is. That there is a lot of moving parts in the background. But that being said, I think it's fair to say, as far as intention is concerned, and you guys can speak on that, there's no question now that Zuffa Boxing is looking to work actively in the traditional space. This is the whole idea and the whole notion behind Zuffa doesn't want to work with the sanctioning bodies is not acknowledging the sanctioning bodies. We got to kind of change that a little bit. We got to stop, guys, right? Like if they're willing to spend money in a courtroom over it, I think the argument is pretty clear. Our fighters want to fight for belts. We support our fighters who want to fight for belts. There is freedom here at Zuffa Boxing. You do not have to sit here and fight just for the league or even for the league. We are a promotional company. This is a hybrid promotional takeover.
Exactly.
Period. It's more opportunities and more reasons for fighters to come over to Zuffa, not just come and wear a Zuffa uniform, come and compete for a Zuffa belt. No, there is the other space because no money will be left on the floor. Am I bugging? We won't leave nothing on the floor.
No, not at all. And it's so funny. Shout out to Joseph Jackson with the question if Shakur and Dev gonna keep their belts. Absolutely. I've been telling you this, Joseph. You heard me in the space, and I've been trying to build on it, getting pushed back. And I'm like, look, man, y'all not reading between the lines, and you're not seeing what's going on. And this is great news. Don King is just looking to buy a new jacket with his face on it. So we already know what that is. So he's just going to play hardball until he can get that jacket. So Just expect everything to go as we see fit. And I truly believe Zuffa will be the promotional company, aka the league. And we can nickname it the league, which is going to be pretty cool. That's going to surprise boxing, and you're going to see more and more fighters going over there, signing and having a good time, as Clay would say, right? They're going to get their fights. They're going to have their paydays. They got a good stable. As long as you got a stable, you can start a promotional company and you can move it into the other sides of the street, as they say. And I don't see Dana or Turkey having any issues with having anybody on the other side of the street making these fights and coming over there. So let's see it happen. Let's give a big round of applause to Zuffa for and this is in Angelo's favor, by the way, Angelo. For Zuffa clapping in on this and making it work for boxing. And that's really what's going on right now.
Yeah, it is. It is a point of conversation, man. And there does need to be a round of applause for it because, one thing's for sure, two things for certain, man. I always respected the intelligence coming over there as far as businessmen are concerned. And it didn't make business sense for them to alienate any part of the boxing space. I always felt like the more logical thing was going to be, we're not going to turn away opportunity. We're going to add opportunity. We're not replacing, we're adding to it. We're going to take that because it's there. And as far as the sanctioning bodies putting their foot down and not getting involved, these sanctioning bodies have built their business around percentages of purses. They ain't getting out the way of no damn of the biggest purses in the game. That doesn't work with the logic or the dynamic of their business model. That doesn't work to turn away from the biggest purses because of pride. No, they might have got a little confusion going on and maybe they drew a line in the sand and they didn't know how to read it. And maybe the IBF moved a little presumptuously, right? Maybe they moved a little too quick, but trust me, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is how much are they paying their fighters? 3% of Zuffa money is the same thing as 3% of Golden Boy money because all that money spent. You heard? And 3% of 100,000 is always more than 3% of 3,000. So, and that's just a quick little, just, they're paying way more than I'm sure of that. But yeah, that's not going to be a problem. The sanctioning bodies was never going to be a problem. All they wanted to was to make sure that they get in. And Dana's made it very clear. Yeah, you guys are going to get in. Because why? Not because we care, because of fighters. We want the biggest and baddest and most competitive fighters over here. And we know those fighters want belts. They want y'all belts. That's what they love. We're bringing ours in through the back door and we're building ours up organically. Ours will eventually get the notoriety they deserve when it's time for it. But until then, we're here for the fighters. That's what we're here for. We're doing this for the fighters. So yeah, we're not turning away opportunities for fighters. That's just not happening.
Word.
Yeah, no, the only other thing I want to add is just so that you guys have something to think about, chat, and everybody who's listening to us on replay. And me and Claymore have had this conversation before, and I was even under the understanding that everybody understood this as the plan. So just me re-explaining it, Ray. The Zuffa boxing belt will be like the UFC. Currently, right now, because there is no federal law that states that it's even allowed to happen, it's just a trophy belt. When it finally does happen, it's going to be closer to what a Ring Magazine belt is like in terms of it's a belt that's you don't have to pay sanctioning fees for. The rankings are based upon who the best are. The only difference between the Ring Magazine belt and the Zuffa boxing belt would be in the Ring Magazine belt, everyone, whatever sanctioning belt you may have, you're going to be ranked in the top 10 of Ring. In the Zuffa boxing belt in 2027 is when I'm hoping it really rolls out. They're going to have a roster, Ray. It's a roster of, let's call it 250 fighters. Of the 250 fighters, those fighters will be ranked under the Zuffa boxing rankings. And that guy, the Zuffa guy, will get a chance to go fight the WBO guy in a Riyadh for a Ring Magazine card.
Right.
And that was always the plan. It was never, and that's why when Dana says, I'm not going to recognize the sanctioning bodies, he's not lying in terms of the league. In the league, he's not going to have a sanctioning body person in there as a part of the ranking. Right. But he's more than happy to have, let's say, Julian Rodriguez is the Zuffa boxing belt champ. Great. I guess he's fighting Devin Haney, who's the WBO champ too. And they're both fighting for the Ring Magazine title. Like, that's the eventuality of all of it.
And I love this.
And if the belt is involved, the sanctioning bodies will reign over the fight. They will get their fees, their stipulations will be met, all the requirements will be met for them. But I think what people, I don't know what's so hard about it, but it is what it is, right? But what people don't understand is when Dana came in with the league, the idea behind it is they don't want to not be able to put on events without sanctioning bodies ruling over them. That's what it is. They want the freedom to keep their fighters active without playing the politics of a sanctioning body. They wanted the ability to do that, to get their fighters fighting 3-4 times a year. That's what they want. And with the sanctioning bodies, there's a lot of underground politics going on, a lot of money exchanging with people who aren't there on the front page, and they're forcing certain fights to happen, and they're also suppressing other fighters from getting their just due. So it's always been about adding to it. But like Dana said, at the end of 2026, judge him then, don't judge him now. My bad.
I just wanted to touch base on what Angelo just said. If you guys don't recall, Misfits, the company or league, had their own belt and they still complied with the sanctioning bodies. You still were having fighters coming out there and fighting for championships. And there was no issues, no talk about, no nothing. Nobody had a problem with it. But now that Zuffa's doing it because we have this distinctive distaste for Dana White and we just can't stand Turkey Al-Sheikh and Sella. Now we have an issue with the way they're moving. So I just love the hypocrisy, like I said, with the space and everything, with all the people that just hate, including Roy Jones and his statements. Understand what this is, bro. It's a machine rolling. The wheels are kicking in, and we're just going to sit back and watch.
Well, I think the big thing that caused the issue, that shook it up, was two things. Number one, the amount of money, right? Mm-hmm. Boxing promoters and in the boxing space understand what that means. Boxing is very simple. It's not a complicated situation. Purse bids, and it's about money, right? It's always been about money. It's prize fighting. When you got somebody like a Saudi Arabian millionaire representing $1 billion PIF fund that's focused on bringing boxing and taking over boxing, it scares everybody who's in the business, because how do I compete with that, right? So then when you see how strategically sound they are as far as attacking it from legislation on a legislation level first, you start to see how serious they are, right? This isn't just about propaganda. Once again, you're talking about Oscar De La Hoya, somebody who's making a large part of his career based off of Clapback Thursdays, right? Like he's completely into the narrative and the propaganda train and the power that it brings to boxing fans who aren't really as sharp as other fans maybe, right? Fans who aren't going into the legislation, tapping into it. So now they feel like, it's one thing to sell the fans on something and have them be upset, but it's another thing for legislation to back the way they're moving and give them the freedom to move as they see fit in a way they can't fit. Like, I remember when Nick Khan said it, any of these promoters, feel free to start your own league as long as you're able to meet the requirements that we're giving, that this is going to say, which is what? Money, right? Because a lot of y'all can't afford these requirements. That's what it comes down. You can't afford to give your fighter insurance during the whole fight camp. You can't afford to do all these things that we can, because we are a huge fund. We're a representation of a lot of investors, of a lot of money, and we're traded on the stock exchange, right? So we are loyal to and have to answer to multiple investors. We have a lot of money. We don't have an infinite amount of money, but we have enough money to where you might wonder if we'll ever run out of money, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys are on a budget. We know. And you're not only on a budget, but you're on network budgets. We don't care about no damn network. Paramount got into business with us because of our money. We didn't get into business with Paramount because we got in business with Paramount because of their network. You know what I'm saying? They gave us $500 million just so they could have a say in the conversation. And that's what you do, right? When you want to have a say, you bring your money to the table. But we've been bankrolling our whole movement from day one, straight off the pockets. We've been hitting fighters directly in their bank accounts, going over the head of promoters, pissing them off. We had to slow down because we didn't realize we was pissing so many promoters off. When the Jared Anderson caught that $3 million, Bob was like, yo, hold on, you playing with me, bro? That's my fighter. Oh, my bad, bro. My bad, bro. I wanted him to fight, so I thought that's who I talked to. I forgot that these guys are under slave contracts and that that the handlers get this say in their careers. So that's what the fear is all about, Ray, right? It's not about the belt. The belt is just an arguing point, right? It's like when your wife come in the room and she want to argue with you and she look around the room and she goes, it was so funny because yesterday, my wife is listening to this, she's gonna be like, motherfucker, you better not. Yesterday, I'm in the room, right? She comes in the room, right?
I already know.
And I got the fan on in the room, right? So I'm like, she's like, oh man, this fan is on. It's cold in here, man. I'm just gonna go downstairs. I'm like, wow, just shut the fan. Why you gotta be like that? And she just looked at me with an attitude. And I seen her look around the room for something to complain. She goes, do you need that light on in the bathroom? And I was just like, nah, you know what I'm saying? That's what the belts are. The belts are. The belts are. They walk,
bathroom.
they walk into the room. They, you know what I'm saying? They walk into the room, you know what I mean?
Good,
and they look around the room and they're looking for something to complain about, and they go, and what's up with this belt anyway? It's not about the belt.
What does one spoon not watch yet, Clay?
Yeah. Does that spoon need to be in there? And it's like, that's when you can tell they coming for you, right? Angela, you know when stuff like that happen, when the wife comes at you like that, you know she coming for you. You're like, oh shit, she coming for me, bro. She looking hard right now. She hard body on me now. She want to argue. You want to argue.
Listen, I know, bro. I know. I learned to just be like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you can't. Yeah. Listen, that's so funny because I have my laundry baskets, right? Mm-hmm. So I put my clothes in it, and if something's hanging out just at the top, why is your stuff always hanging out? Like, what? Like that's what you came home to talk about? That's what you came home to talk about,
right? You already know she's in the mood. She's dialed in on you.
And I'm like, all right, I'll fix it. And she's like, oh, by the way, is more?
Yeah, or she'll say something. Yeah, I bet you will. Mm-hmm.
Right?
You're like, damn, what all that hot sauce about, man? What the fuck is going on?
It'd be crazy, bro.
It'd be crazy.
Now, see, chat and to our replay gang and our listeners, see, I'm smarter than these two. Because, all I want to say to my wife is, baby, I love you very much. And everything is perfect. Everything is great.
No, but sometimes, fuck that, bro. You just picking on me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Sometimes.
But listen, that should piss them off more, Angelo, in my household.
Yeah, that's if you've been married long enough, when you know, bro. You know when they're in the mood. You know when it's up. You know what I mean? You know what it is. The best, like I think somebody in the building just said, a wise man once say nothing at all, and that might piss them off even a little more. But it's a bait. They're trying to pull you in. You feel me? If you try to really engage in this conversation and try to defend it and make it not that big of a deal, you about to play yourself. A wise man who's in the room will look at you like. Light off, bro. Nah, but you ain't got it. Listen, bro.
Y'all gonna be sleeping on the couch.
I'm gonna. I got it. I'll shut the light. You know what I'm saying? You about to feed into it. So that's what the belt conversation is about, right? Like when they make it all about the belts and this in the history of the belts, and when what Roy is talking about, Roy's talking about the light being on in the bathroom, right? Because he doesn't have the meat and potatoes of the conversation and really know what's really going on. There's really nothing when people are reaching that way. That's because on a legitimate level, there's nothing to really complain about. So now they're starting to make it petty. They can't wear their own shorts. Come on, man. I gotta wear they can't wear their own shorts. They can't wear their own clothes. Come on, man. Do we want to be part of this? Like, bro, come on, bro. That is nothing. Come on, bro.
Crazy, man.
That's nobody care about no damn shorts and no pants. Or trust me when I tell you, if Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko want to wear an outfit, guess what they're doing, bro? They're wearing a damn outfit.
They're gonna wear an outfit.
It's gonna be figured out, bro. Period, bro. It's not gonna be what it is, man.
And I'm laughing because I forgot who was fighting. I think wasn't John Battaglia who had the IBF logo.
Yeah, no, they did him up nice.
He cut his shorts, right? He cut his shorts and everything, right?
No. You can talk to. So again, being a part of that group, you could always talk to the merchandising people to do up your stuff. And in fact, I was gonna suggest to Mozzie to ask the merchandising people because he likes Naruto stuff so much. He could ask them to put his name in that kanji, and they'll do it.
I was gonna say I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen people with logos and different flags. I think Jalil had the what's his nickname again? The
El Negro Mexicano. He had a Mexican flag on
Mexican, right? Yeah, I was gonna say he had that on his shorts, bro. Like we bugging, right? But Clay, I just want to laugh because that's right. That's my brother right there.
My brother
Jersey,
man.
But listen, man, I'm telling you, when you say this, it's hilarious because I heard like the same thing you just said, right? Like, oh yeah, well, we didn't like the belts 2 weeks ago because our favorite fighter didn't like the belts. I hate bringing this up, right? Oh, he didn't support the belts, but now we're all about the belts. They don't like our belts. Yo, the hypocrisy is diabolical.
And a lot of these people are just echo chambers. God bless him. It's just like what Angelo brought up earlier as far as the addiction, right? To the cynicism. This is the cynicism showing up, right? Which is they're going to assume the worst. They're going to hope for the worst. They're going to give you the worst case scenario, even though nothing has happened. The cynicism in them goes, but they're going to, when you say things like what they're going to do is, bro, stop it. You don't know what they're going to do. All you can go on is what they say they're going to do and hold them accountable to it as they're doing it. That's it.
Exactly.
Hold them accountable to what they said they're going to do and wait. But the whole idea that you're going to have some kind of predictive sixth sense that they're going to do this in a negative way, especially in the lawless land of boxing when everybody's getting fucked over. Shout out to Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Wishing him the best. Wishing him the best on his journey right now. Knowing that this guy is supposed to be part of some of the biggest fights in the space right now. Guys, there's little room to point fingers. There's just change that needs to happen. Listen, Dana and Zuffa are very capable of fucking over boxing and doing something that we disagree with. When that happens, we will address it accordingly. If it happens, I'll say. I won't even say when it happens. If it happens, we'll address it accordingly.
If it ever happens, right? Because we do that, Clay, right? We hold everybody accountable, no matter who they are, even our favorite fighters. We'll hold them accountable if they do something wrong, right? I'm sure you'll be the first one, Clay. If Terrence Crawford were to do something awful, you will speak about it and you'll say, hey, man, I'm holding you accountable because you weren't supposed to do that and you did it. It's just
I disagree with it, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Zuffa just finished Zuffa 6 and up to Zuffa 6, I haven't seen him do anything wrong.
Right.
I didn't see him do anything wrong. So I'm like, and I've already been to 2 of their events, and I'm telling you, they're not doing nothing wrong. So why are we like? Why is Roy Jones being cynical and projecting that something might go wrong?
I have my speculations on it. I think it's a little of everything. I think there is a part of it where it's like, I think it's about the Ali Act. It's a combination of the Ali Act and also opportunities that maybe, you know what I mean? But I know how close he is to Muhammad Ali as far as that being his favorite fighter. I know how he regards Muhammad Ali. He holds Muhammad Ali as a legitimate god in the sport to him. He's the end all be all, the alpha and omega when it comes to boxing. So, messing with that act will rub him a certain way, I could imagine. And then also on top of that, I think there's some opportunities that his co-host Andre Ward has, his lifetime opposition.
That's more real.
Listen,
that's more real.
His lifetime opposition, Antonio Tarver, has that he doesn't have. Like, there's all kinds of things that I know.
Too. Like, hey, Dana, why you giving those two a job?
I'm being honest. I'm not putting the jacket, right? I don't know, but I'm just saying there's a lot of little things in there that I know could rub him the wrong way. I know he don't. Anyway, it is what it is, right?
And he was a good commentator too. So, ring play-by-play guy, right? In the ring, in boxing. So I get it. I get why he would be upset with that too. But go ahead, real quick, Angel.
No, I was just gonna say, right, because I'll let you finish your point, but make the connection also because again, the industry is small. So keep in mind that when they were bringing in the ESPN people, Andre Ward and Max Kellerman had already kind of known of each other, Molly, the whole bit, right? And now think about the Tarver situation. What movie was Tarver in? Rocky. What company financed Rocky? Paramount. I mean, they're already familiar with it.
There's relationships. There are relationships. That's what you're saying. There's already family ties. There's already like we know how to deal with you. We know that it's easy. It is what it is. But anyway, that being said, looking forward to see how these things develop. But we are talking about Zuffa a little bit, so I'll go ahead and move into the Vasily Lomachenko conversation. Vasily Lomachenko coming in back off of retirement, man. Coincidentally, I know it's a coincidence that his contract ended this week, and here comes these announcements. So I'm sure there's multiple different directions that Vasily Lomachenko can go in, guys, right? Like he can go back. He could do what Xander did. He could renew a contract with Top Rank and stay with them. He can go to the PBC. He can go to Golden Boy. I'm sure he could do just about anything he wants. But I think in all practicality, in all practical thinking, if we're just going to be real about it, what a very telling sign of where he might be going would have to be them saying that he's only trying to get into the biggest fights, right? The most signature fights. He's not looking to just be active. He's not on a campaign to become undisputed and win every belt one by one. He's in here for certain opportunities. And if the opportunities involve paydays, you can't help but speculate into the Zuffa boxing conversation, because they seem to be giving out the biggest bags right now to the stars right now as far as signing deals are. Where do you guys stand on the information that you've heard, and any type of insight on what we might be expecting from the Ukrainian, the Matrix, Sergey Lomachenko?
Well, I didn't hear his name all over the space. I heard him against every fighter in the world at 135 to 140, which is crazy. And the fights that we wanted to see him in too. I think it's crazy that if he does come back, especially if he comes back to fight Tank, I think he's looking at the golden opportunity, not only for the bag with a ring card or something, even if it's a co-promotion with PBC for Tank, is because the inactivity of Tank, him being at the ring for over a year, him taking advantage of it, staying busy, staying sharp, and saying, you know what, I could take this guy. This guy ain't thinking about nothing. He's dealing with issues. He ain't worried about boxing right now. Matter of fact, I don't even know if he's in the gym. When he was in the gym, I just seen Lamont Roach get in there and piece him up, and I know I could do better than Lamont Roach. So I think he's looking at that right there as a wavy finger, because last time he walked away from the table, that they were trying to do him with a shitty-ass deal like they did Devin, a shitty-ass deal like they offered Bud initially before Spence stepped up, and they're trying to get him to sign that deal for $0 without no pay, and that's why he walked away. Now he's back, and he's got options now, because he can say, you know what? Oh, you don't want to fight me? Hey, Shakur, you still want to make that fight too? Listen, I know your name is rising through the stars, bro. You coming up here in the clouds where we were, I'm willing to take that fight now. And, oh, you don't want to fight? No, I got you. I know you're busy. Hey, Raymond Muratalla, I heard you looking for a dance partner. Guess what? You got my belt. I ain't lose it to you. I want my belt back. Matter of fact, I don't care about none of y'all. I'm looking for this payday. Turkey is paying me. I can stay over here in Riyadh, closer to Ukraine, and I can just fight whoever they put in front of me. I don't give a damn. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be that guy.
Can I be honest with you guys? I'm very interested in the weight class he's coming in at.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been somebody who subscribes to the idea that 135 was too big for him. Have we entertained the fact that he may be going down in weight? And if he goes down in weight, what is he looking forward to do down there? Or could there be a super fight?
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
I'll let Angelo take it. I just question. Go ahead, Angelo.
Yeah, no. Here's my piece on it. So first of all, stop lying to yourselves. He signed with Zuffa. I'm not talking to you two. I'm talking to the chat and everybody. Okay. Secondly, that deal has already either gotten worked out already, or it is already figured out, and he's going to be on Glory of Giza May 23rd. He's going to be sitting right there sporting his Ukrainian brother in good old Usyk. But yeah, Claymore, to your point of super fight, who wants to move up to 126? That's right, the pound for pound #1 guy. What better fight would Dana White be able to promote the hell out of next year in 2027 than Lomachenko, Naoya Inoue, before they both finally call it a retirement thing, right?
Big ass fight.
Be pretty awesome. Now hold on,
I didn't see that coming.
A few things would need to happen for Lomachenko in order for us to maybe get to this, right? Because the curiosity has always been, is Lomachenko's back really hurt? Does he really want to retire? Or is it that he lost the desire, right? The fire burning inside. And if you listen to his interviews on when he was talking about retirement, he said he lost the fire. That wanting to be able to compete. Well, if Shakur Stevenson, whether Shakur wants to admit it or not, is coming to Zuffa, how do you recoup your money, man? Then a Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko fight for pound supremacy, right? But again, Ray, I understand. Hey, maybe a few more things need to happen before that can happen. And now we go to Ray Davis's theory. Well, Louis DeCubas on the last ring card was it was on the Fury fight, was sitting there with good old Turkey talking about, oh, big things are going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if the big thing is Tank Davis versus Loma, which has always been talked about, never got a chance to happen, and Tank's been laid off, and so has Lomachenko. So as fair is fair. sounds like a 50-50 because let's be honest, Claymore, if we said right now Lomachenko is fighting Shakur, we're all picking Shakur to win. Mainly
I think
because
most people who
the
he gets in the
activity.
ring with right now, as far as the big stars are concerned, he's just been too inactive, right? It is what it is.
Right.
I mean,
but the Tank Loma fight, to Ray Davis's point,
mm-hmm.
I don't know, Ray. 50,
both of them on the
50,
timeout.
bro.
Yeah, both of them been on a
same amount
hiatus
of
out of
time.
the sport. How about this one? So now we're talking about Tank Davis, and we know that Tank Davis is interested in the biggest bags of money. You know, this referencing, if we do a little history, right, on Tank Davis as far as that relationship between Tank Davis and Saudi Arabia and Turkey Al-Sheikh, to say it's been turbulent is an understatement, right? The three Ferraris, right? The two Ferraris and the three Ferraris and the who the hell are those guys? And I don't need to go over there and all that. When it's all said and done, I think we've all argued to the fact that I could see it happening at some point, but is it becoming closer and closer to a reality that Tank will be involved in a super fight that will be bankrolled by Saudi Arabia and that he will be involved doing business with Turkey Al-Sheikh? It seems like he kind of doesn't have a choice, right? Because I don't see how PBC can afford to pay him the upfront money. They seem to be stuck on that, eat what you kill business model. And a lot of fighters just seem to not want to deal with it. A lot of fighters just don't want to deal with it. One of them, in my opinion, being the most outspoken on it is Tank Davis and Errol Spence, right? These guys, Errol Spence literally stayed out the ring for 3 years, you know what I'm saying? Waiting on the call. We heard so many different rumors of him coming back to fight Sebastian Fundora, him coming back to fight, going to 116 fighting, him coming back now and fighting Tim Tszyu finally, but it never came to fruition. And now we're seeing him go to Australia. Now I hear what he's saying. I wanted to go to Australia. I don't believe it. I think that at the end of the day, what Australia has that America doesn't have is no limit. Who has a budget and an ability to pay you upfront money. So that being said, Tank Davis literally was getting ready to go fight Jake Paul on a stupid, outrageous catchweight fight that just didn't make no sense, right? It was an absolutely ridiculous catchweight situation. Nobody, not even a lion's share of his fans, could make sense of it, right? Most of his fans were just sitting there like, I don't even know what to say. They were trying to support him, but they all knew that was crazy that this 135-pound champion was going to fight a guy whose last fight was at 225 plus pounds. It just didn't make any sense. But what made sense is the payday. That's what made sense, right? And that's what his fans decided to lean on and say, well, this is going to be his biggest payday. Well, okay, so that means he's so desperate for a payday, he's willing to go fight somebody who's probably literally damn near twice his size, right? Damn near, right? Like not 270, but 225, 50 pounds shy of being twice your size. So how is that going to look? Is Tank going to sign some sort of 3-fight deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh? Can we see that, or will they just do a one-off and just allow him to go?
No, that's a good point, Clay. So can I speak on it? Remember that again, like you said, it's all fluid anyways, right? And it's what's going to work best for them. Tank for sure wants to get in, but let me give you a scenario that is extremely possible. And if it happens, then we can credit the channel for saying it first. Dana White has already said he's promoting Fury versus Joshua. You're hearing all the pushback, and you heard Dana on 2 press conferences last weekend, the UFC press conference and the Zuffa post press conference, where he's like, well, I guess those guys must be right. We'll see. Which means what, Clay? Which means Dana is promoting Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, according to the boss, which is Turkey Al-Sheikh. You know what would be an awesome co-main event to that on Netflix? Lomachenko versus Tank Davis, baby. November, Lomachenko, Tank Davis co-featuring Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, because Frank Warren even already said he doesn't know where the fight will be. The fact that you don't know, bro, you promoting. How come you don't know? The fact that you don't know
means you ain't putting on the fight. That's what it says.
That's what it means.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it means, right? It means that you ain't putting on the fight. Shout out to Akeem Blake in the building, said Tank is stubborn. Hey, bro, hey, listen, man. It's just a conversation. I'm not saying it's going to happen. All I'm saying is Tank has shown how much paydays mean to him. And the PBC has shown how difficult it is for them to give their fighters paydays. Tank went to go fight Jake Paul, bro, on Netflix and become the B-side on a promotion in the spirit of getting money. Now, Tank has always had his little weird thing going on with Turkey Al-Sheikh. It's always been a weird thing, like, you know, and it's always been based off of what he thought of was Turkey over celebrating Devin, right? He was like, man, that dude is just on Devin, you know, just wants to support Devin. But Dana White, I don't know. I didn't hear about Tank having no problems with Dana White. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest with you, I don't think Tank give a damn about no Ali act either. So he ain't gonna stand on that soapbox, right? I just got a feeling he don't give a damn about Ali act. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he want to know what's going to be good for his pockets. His politics has got to be straight. He ain't got no problem with Dana. Dana could be a legitimate bridge, a fair bridge, to where he can go on a platform and be like, I ain't working with Turkey. I'm working with Zuffa.
Dana.
I'm working with Dana. And people are like, yeah, but Turkey, hey, bro. Turkey's paying for PBC fights too. So he can do this and still not be a hypocrite, right? He can fight a Lomachenko on a Ring Magazine card or whatever have you and not be a hypocrite. He doesn't, it doesn't have to be. Some people will, right? Some people will look in between the lines and just call it out. Like, nah, you taking the turkey back, bro. We've seen you, bro. We knew you would. We knew you would. But he can be like, bro, this ain't a turkey bag. You know what I mean? This is a Paramount deal. This is a Dana White. This is not a turkey bag. So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. That being said, moving on to the next part of the conversation, which will be Shakur Stevenson at this point, because Raymond Muratalla walks away from a negotiation table, right? He says Shakur's taking too long to say yes. Why is Shakur taking so long to say yes? I don't know Shakur as a person. Personally, I don't look at him as a person who's scared to take a fight or who is trying to get out of being in a fight. I do know that he's a person he's in a season, he's in a chapter in his career right now, which is I get money. I'm getting paid a lot of money. I'm getting paid the most money. I am a money man now. He's made it clear belts don't mean that much to me. I don't care about none of that. He wants to be part of the biggest fights, and he wants to get paid the most money for the biggest fights. So if Raymond Muratalla, if he allows Raymond Muratalla to walk away from the table now, he leaves that 135-pound lineal title in a closet somewhere for now at a minimum, right? Maybe, I'm not saying he won't come back around. What would motivate him not to put that fight on together? Does that make the Zuffa boxing rumors even more interesting on the back end of he's not taking that fight with Raymond Muratalla? Well, you know, that fight is done. Raymond Muratalla is looking to be active in August now. He's already looking at defending his title. I don't even know if he's going to be at 140 or if he's going to be at 135. Shakur has this rumor that comes out on the back of a Chris Mannix tweet that says Zuffa Boxing is in negotiations with him. And then this week we hear Lomachenko is coming out of retirement. Does all of this connecting with each other, or is this a coincidence?
Oh, coincidence, man. No, of course it's connecting the dots. Clay, are you serious right now? Listen, I have to really be honest with you, man. Loma's a buzz. Shakur is a person, and I have to say, a patient person. Yeah, I see the stubborn conversation. I believe he's a little stubborn. He admitted it. I also believe that Shakur does like titles, but he also does not like what was done to him in the situation with the WC. So he's feeling some type of way. So I think the Zuffa move is money. It's going to give him some breathing room, and it's going to allow him to get the biggest fights. He's also a fighter that's stepping into that cage saying, I want the biggest and best fights. He's willing to sacrifice whatever he has to sacrifice to become or fight the biggest and best fights. And I think this is a long time coming. He was at 126 when Loma moved up. He was at 130 when Loma moved up. So this whole time he's been trying to make chasing the coattails, let me just say, of Loma and looking for the big fights with him or Gervonta Davis, even a Devin Haney at one point. So yes, I think Shakur, even though Raymond Muratalla walked away because he wants to fight at 140. Shakur wants to fight at 135. They're obviously not meeting head to head, and we forgot to mention that part because Shakur wants that IBF, or not even the lineal title. He wants to put that in his resume, in his back pocket, as opposed to the IBF. I guess that is what it is. But Raymond wants the lineal title at 140, so it's like we're not working together. So we already heard Robert Garcia speak to that. But I think Shakur is doing what's best for him. I think, whether it be good or bad, I think Raymond's doing the same thing. I think, hey, we're doing the same thing. We're walking away. And Shakur sees a lot of things happening. He sees the green pastures. And whether it's greenbacks, whether it's another Zuffa belt or another title or something else that's coming, He's motivating himself for the best fights, and that's how I see it.
Yeah. So, can I paint a story, Clay? Because you know how I like to paint stories in
Right.
ATP combat.
Allow the
Right.
good squire Angelo will grab his guitar and tell
Let's
his
go, Bob
story
Ross.
as he runs around. Bing, biddy, ding, bing, there
Don't
once
do a
was
Bob
man
Ross. Don't,
in the tin in the land who tell the story.
yeah. Don't be a Bob Ross. Don't
Everybody
be
get you a cup of some what that shit they used to drink back in the day. Mini with it's not beer. What is it called?
The
Stout.
ale? Is it
Stout.
ale
Stout.
or
No, not
Stout.
ale is one word, but there's another word for it.
Stout.
Mead, right? Or
mead. Oh, get him
Mead.
a stout cup
Yeah,
of mead.
get you a pint of mead. Have a sit around the fire as Angelo tells this story.
Look at him.
There once was a man. Go ahead.
So everybody knows that Edwin De Los Santos is a very legit name at 135 pounds. And
Right.
he happens to be fighting Rayo Valenzuela, who's a former world champion, June 28th here in Las Vegas at the Chelsea Zuffa Boxing 8, y'all. Come on down and
the
check it out.
rematch, by the way.
I'll probably be there. But anyways, I wonder what it would look like, Clay, if the first Zuffa contract for Shakur is fighting the winner of that for the Zuffa boxing trophy belt. I'm just wondering it. I'm just wondering. I'm just gonna throw it out there in the air and let you two think about this idea. Because you know, if good old Conor Ben can get 15 million fight Regis Prograis, why would it be so bad for Shakur to get a rematch with De Los Santos? Why would it be so bad for Shakur to fight Rayo Valenzuela at 135? I'm just gonna throw it out there and see what you guys got to say about it.
I think I don't see that, but it's possible. No, I'm gonna be real with you. It is possible because there's history there between Shakur and Edwin De Los Santos. There's history there. You know what I'm saying? Raul Venezuela was trying to, he was trying to get into certain fights as well. He was trying to push the WBC way as well at 135 at one point. It was a WBA, but also the WBC. I heard conversations of him trying to push that as well, but knowing that probably wasn't likely based off of what Shakur was doing at the time. With Shakur, it's not complicated. It's about money, right? There'd have been a point in time when my conversation would have been like, hell no, he ain't fighting for no Zuffa belt. But I'm gonna tell you like this: with the freedom that Zuffa boxing is showing that they're willing to give their fighters to operate on a traditional space, I don't know if he minds one way or the other as much as people might want him to. I think money is what counts. I think being on a big stage is what counts. I think the biggest fights, the biggest spectacle events that are aligned with the biggest money is what counts. And I think anything goes. Everything is on the table. It's about which one you're going to do, and maybe even like which one you're going to do first, right? Because maybe the plan is to do it all, right? To do everything, to fight for this, fight for that, fight for everything. As long as I'm getting the money, Zuffa Boxing is in a position right now to where they're looking to blow the brand up. They're looking to add credibility to their brand, and they're paying top dollar to the biggest stars in the game to come over and help them do that. And once these guys come over and sign these contracts for these big amounts of money, they've signed on to help Zuffa Boxing come in as a new movement. Now, listen, another thing that's not being taken into consideration is there's a lot of fighters in the space who are cheering for Zuffa Boxing. And I'm telling you, because all these fighters who are knocking the sanctioning body belts, knocking the politics of the sport, the fighters, they're looking at Zuffa Boxing, and a lot of them are hoping it works out. A lot of them are like, we need the checks and balances. So don't be shocked if Shakur Stevens is not coming over on the strength of, I want to be part of history. I want boxing to change. I was a person who suffered on the other side of being the B-side to the biggest fights. I couldn't get the opportunities. I couldn't get Devin Haney in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get Tank in the ring. I couldn't negotiate with even Vasily Lomachenko was treating me like trash. I was always a guy waiting on a phone call, waiting on an offer. I want boxing to change. And we saw Terrence Crawford speak on it by him putting his foot down, obviously, by not paying those sanctioning fees to the WBC. And we saw him wish Zuffa the best. I hope you guys do get it together. So I think there's an era, there's a generation of fighters, some fighters who are very supportive of what Zuffa's trying to do. So I wouldn't be shocked off the strength of also getting the money, of Shakur Stevenson getting the money on the, yeah, I'm here to help. What do you need me at? Yeah, I'll fight for that stupid shit. I'll fight for that damn belt, whatever. I don't give a damn, bro. I hope it sticks. Let's get it done. I don't care.
And Ray, before I get your response, let me add one more thing so I can convince Clay a little bit more. Because like he said, it is possible. He doesn't see it, but it's possible. The word is in the streets is that Shakur is going to be on the undercard of Canelo's fight. That's September 12th in Riyadh. Boy, sure would look good if that's a rematch versus De Los Santos. It might even look better if it's a match against Rayo Valenzuela. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think, Ray?
No, it could look good.
Listen,
him fighting Lomachenko.
I like Loma. Venezuela would be a good fight, right? Rayo. De Los Santos would be a good comeback fight. Not comeback fight, a good fight in a rematch. But I just think the rematch right there with Rayo is one thing for De Los Santos. Let's not forget about our little guy down in Texas that ran away in the Riyadh card and pretended to be in the sick bed. That guy's still fighting with De La Hoya, but he's still open to different fights. Apparently, according to his dad, he got freedom to move around and do certain things. So don't be surprised if Floyd Schofield may find himself on the undercard with Shakur Stevenson. So that's another thing we need to look at.
Yeah, it's about money, right? All the fighters who are prize fighters in real time. And I love that you brought up Floyd Schofield because he's definitely part of the conversation because Senior and Schofield Jr. are definitely about the prize fighting side of the conversation. And they can't deny what they see Zuffa doing. They could say, this, that, and the other, but it's the money. It's the money. Floyd Schofield Sr. is on his businessman shit. He's about this money. So listen, if it make dollars, it makes sense. These fighters who have hung their hat on the prize fighter hook, you know what I'm saying? And that's who they are. They cannot deny or look away from where the biggest paydays are coming from right now. And I think that Conor Ben $15 million deal made a whole lot of fighters sit up in their bed and go,
whoa,
what? What they doing over there? Yeah, if you see Bill Haney creeping and you see Shakur creeping, shit is cooking.
Right.
They don't creep for nothing.
And let's not forget, too, that Schofield looking for somebody to buy him out that contract. You're looking for a $10 million deal. He would have paid that $5 million back, right? Did he say that? He would have get out that deal. He would have paid back.
He was vibing with Virgil, right? He was wishing Virgil the best last time I checked. He was like, man, Virgil, hope that work out for you, bro. I kind of know where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think on his Instagram, he may have shouted out little hashtag Zuffa on there the other day as well. You know what I'm saying? Just a real quick low-key like shout out. So there's a lot of things moving around. People like Oscar De La Hoya and the promoters in the game who are against Zuffa, they've got to be feeling some kind of way. They got to feel the nerves going crazy. Dana gets in on this part of the conversation in a legitimate way. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be bombs over Baghdad, bro. And I think it's bombs over Baghdad right now. You know what I'm saying? I just think the boxing space hasn't embraced it yet, but I think it's bombs over Baghdad. I think Dana White and Zuffa Boxing have officially stated their claim in the traditional space.
Right.
Y'all thought we were going to let you have this space? Y'all dumb.
And I'm glad you said that.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all
thought I was going to stay on my little island and y'all were going to sit here and shit on my little Zuffa belt and make my little Zuffa belt not worth shit and constantly shoot at my Zuffa belt. And y'all thought I wasn't going to come over here? You think Mauricio's scared to do business with me? You think Gustavo or whatever his name is
Gustavo was smart. He's the youngest.
These dudes is all gonna do business with me because I'm gonna put money in their pocket, bro. We're doing business. But the only thing is, you got to ask yourself your question, which is, who's gonna do better business with the sanctioning bodies, me or you? Because we competing there too, and the sanctioning bodies are gonna be loyal to where the money's at. They ain't got they don't care about no history. Mauricio Sulaiman don't care about you like that, Oscar. You think he give a shit about you like that? To where he gonna turn away from money? No, he'll be right over there, standing next to Dana. Look, Dana White won't even be in the ring, bro. Dana White is on some other shit. He's on some Kaiser Sose shit. There'll be a representation. It'll be Max Kellerman or something. No, that won't be Max. I ain't gonna lie. But it won't be Max. Max is dead set against the sanctioning body.
Greg Maddox.
Whoever it's gonna be, whoever it's going to be. Bottom line is they're going to find a way because they want to get to the money. Their business model is based off of a set percentage of purses. Wherever the biggest purses are, it's not going to change. History has shown wherever the biggest purses are is where the sanctioning bodies find themselves.
Right.
And they're going to find themselves over there with Zuffa attached to the biggest purses. You watch, you wait and see.
And I'm so glad. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ray.
I was just going to say, I was so glad you said that, Clay, because I actually meant to say this on the Roy Jones conversation, but I'm going to keep it here. This is why American boxing is so dumbfounded when it comes to global boxing. Thank God Turkey Al Sheikh was able to bring that entity to us, and that's why I said all this Ali Act talk that they're talking, bro. You don't have that shit across the globe, bro. You only have that shit here in the United States. So guess what? Now you got to get out your backyard and you got to fight. And guess what? If you get the same rules in your backyard, it don't help nobody, and it don't cover nobody. It helps the fighter more than it needs to be, but at the same time, what are you getting when you go overseas? You're not getting the same benefit that you get here. So screw that shit. I'm not disrespecting the Muhammad Ali Act, but I'm saying screw the shit that they talk about and all the bull crap, because what you just said, Clay, is right on the money. This shit is global and it's about that bag. And the only way you're gonna get that bag is by fighting the best that we never seen. And guess what? We're starting to see people pop out the woodworks over there. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Even look at the fight we did with Queensbury the other day on Matchroom, bro.
Yeah,
Never knew. Beat up morale. Why? Because we didn't know him, but we're calling this guy school teacher. So shout out to the school teacher.
That's what he is, actually.
Hey, shout out to the school teachers.
Go ahead, Angelo.
What I was going to add, right? Yeah, what the point I was going to, I want everybody, like, so it's funny to me, Clay, and again, I know you don't like it too much when I do this, so I won't do it too hard, but we were getting hated on so bad last year when we were just explaining the Zuffa movement to the point where they started calling you this weird ass name, right? Zuffa Clay, which turned into Zoo, right? People are calling me Reyes White or whatever, and the same channels now are all covering Zuffa. Like, oh, what a surprise, right? So the one argument that you'll continue to hear, Ray Davis, is, well, it's going to be a monopoly. Even Roy Jones is talking about this, right? It cannot be a monopoly just by simple math. If there are thousands of fighters that are registered to box, and Zuffa can only have 200, 250 people in a roster, how can it be a monopoly? It cannot be a monopoly. It can only be a monopoly if everyone gets signed to Zuffa. What Zuffa is doing, and again, this is a misconception to maybe even some of the fighters and coaches out there doing their best to try to get noticed. Zuffa calls you to get in, not the other way around. So David Morrell, maybe he'll get a call. Maybe he won't. I don't know. But Zuffa has to see a global plan for him in order for them to include him in the roster. Otherwise, they're trying to create a roster that fits to their storytelling program. They're trying to tell a story. So again, please don't, like Ray, when you go on some of these spaces, man, you're going to hear the whole, oh no, it's going to be a monopoly. It can't be a monopoly, just like how the UFC, how can the UFC be a monopoly?
Yeah,
we're fucking watching Netflix MMA this Saturday.
Yeah. Listen, man. Listen, bro. It's the light on in the bathroom thing, man. It's I don't even acknowledge it. I swear to God, I don't like it. Anyway, that being said, yes, monopoly. What you said. Yeah.
Little bald man with a mustache.
And then the sun came out in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is stopping on that one. It is what it is. Very interested in seeing what Shakur Stevenson is going to do. Very interested in seeing what Vasily Lomachenko is going to do. I'm very interested right now in seeing what Zuffa boxing is going to do, because they're doing, it's like every other week something is coming out, right? So let's see if anything gets finalized with this Devin Haney situation. Let's see if any announcements are made on the Shakur situation. Let's see what Lomachenko is going to get involved with. Like I told you guys, nothing is in stone. Lomachenko could extend with Top Rank. Maybe maybe the Zone is offering Lomachenko some good money, right? Maybe the Zone is giving Lomachenko an opportunity to get some big upfront money. I don't know, right? We got to see what ends up happening, but it's very interesting how fighters, even Errol Spence, are becoming interested back into the space. Why? Because clearly money's circulating. Those guys, Jermell Charlo, those guys are smelling money. They're seeing their counterparts, their contemporaries get big paychecks, and they're like, I'm supposed to be part of that conversation. They're trying to get in on those conversations. It is what it is. Now, I want to continue to move the needle now to the main event. Not the main event, the big fight card that's going on this weekend here. We've got Keyshawn Davis versus Nahir Albright. Guys, the story is there as far as a storyline is concerned, but another part of the story is that the boxing space, a large part of the boxing space, the Tim Bradleys, a lot of pundits in the space. I'm sure there's people in the chat here that you guys can put it in the chat and let me know. But people are saying we didn't ask for this fight, right? They're like, oh, come on, Keyshawn. You know, I mean, you just came off of that performance against Jermaine Ortiz. You put 140 on notice. I mean, we were just talking about you being in the ring with Tank, or being in the ring with Shakur, or being in the ring with Devin Haney, all these other names, Richardson Hitchens, and you bringing up Nahir Albright, the nurse, the full-time nurse who just had a draw with Frank Martin. Are you serious? Now, I don't subscribe to the idea. I'm a fan of the fight. I think the fight has a great story. I think we know the connection as far as the melee that happened in the backstage area in the Scope Arena between the Davis brothers. You know what I'm saying? And Nahir Albright, on the back end of Nahir Albright beating Kelvin Davis. And we also know that there's a no contest on Keyshawn Davis's record. And we know that no contest was not so much of the no contest, but arguably, I don't even know if there's an argument there. Keyshawn Davis's most competitive fight that he's had in his professional career was against Nahir Albright. So I think the fight has a great story behind it. It doesn't hold weight as far as, and I'll leave it to you guys to give me your opinion on it, but does it hold weight in the conversation of Keyshawn Davis's resume, right? Like, is this fight a fight that's going to be used as something that builds up Keyshawn Davis and be like, boom, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's in deservance of these other opportunities? Or is this fight just a great storyline and an opportunity for Keyshawn Davis to have another highlight reel night potentially, and also get his city back on his side, right? Get his city back on point to where he kind of hurt his name in the city by blowing weight with Del Santos and doing all that. Kind of hurt the name of the city, hurt the name of the brand. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, Ray, that if you're noticing there's a news traction about this been happening the last few days. Hopefully today's press conference helps it out, but bro, they are not selling no tickets. Like, people
That's what I'm
are
hearing.
rejecting it. Like, nah, bro, that last thing, that happened, we're not trying to trust that, some weirdo thing. So maybe there will be a lot of tickets sold if they lower the prices and it gets in the last minute. Maybe they will be able to pack the place. But as of right now, if you go on Ticketmaster, Clay, there's a lot of tickets not sold, which, by the way, I'm going to say is really too bad. To you guys' point, the card's pretty good. And the fight that interests me the most, and this is no disrespect to Keyshawn Davis or Nahir Albright, who I'm a big fan of. I love the fact that he's a full-time nurse and he's beating up on dudes that are in the top 10. I think it's fantastic. I really hope that Nahir Albright gets that Zuffa call so he can actually finally come over and be treated the right way. And maybe he can still do the nursing thing, but maybe it'll be part-time. We got hospitals here too, Nahir. You can come over here and join the group.
You're funny,
but I'm really interested in the return of Brian Norman.
I knew it.
Wait, I am too. Wait. Don't move it yet, because I want to hear Ray's opinion on this.
Go ahead.
Because I want to talk about
that's what I was going to say, Ray, is that I was saying that I'm sad about the tickets because the card is actually cool enough that you guys should want to go buy the tickets to go watch Brian Norman. But go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
Well, listen, I'm glad I'm not going to go on Brian Norman, but I'm glad you mentioned him because I think they brought him there to help sell the fight, right? They brought him there for that reason. They knew the fiasco was a disappointment from the Keyshawn situation. They knew that what's his name was there fighting his brother and beat his brother and Albright, and it turned into some significant situation. Top Rank's just not doing the investment. They didn't promote the fight enough. They purposely, I think, didn't do it. I think they didn't do it because the fact that this is you need to sell this fight yourself now. We put all this money in you and we got nothing back. A lot of things have changed because of that. But don't be surprised, like you said, if they do lower the tickets. I do think the fans base will still come out and support Keyshawn. It is a local fight, and it is one of their guys, and I think Norfolk will stand up for him. I wouldn't be surprised if you get the DMV guys coming out as well, like the DC and Maryland guys coming up there, and some guys from North Carolina. It's all in the same area, and I think we will see this fight sell out, and I think it would be a good I think we're going to get a good performance. As far as who wins, I don't know if you asked that question, Clay. I'm not sure. It's like I think Keyshawn wins, but I just think there's still that energy of Albright, who's been in the ring with him, shared it once. Is like, listen, bro, I'm a dog, and I know I can hurt you. I've hurt you before. I know I'm a puncher. I know I'm just a machine, and I can beat you. And I think we just seen that with Frank Martin. So don't be surprised if this fight is very close, not even a draw. I just think that it'll turn around. I think it'll turn around. I just think the energy for them.
I think the city will show up to it. That's what I believe. I do believe it, but I'm hearing the same thing that Angelo's hearing. I got people out there who are saying ain't nobody buying that. I don't know if it's because the tickets were a little too expensive in the beginning. Maybe they're waiting on the prices to come down. Maybe I don't know, right? But I do believe when it's all said and done, Norfolk will come out for them unless they make it impossible. If they make it too expensive, listen, gas is damn near $5 a gallon, bro.
Right.
People, pinching their pennies, bro. So they got to make it affordable. They got to pick their poison. Do you want the place packed or do you want to make as much money as possible? And, make your decision accordingly. As far as this fight is concerned, right, on the level of a fight, which is what intrigues me about this, because the truth of the matter is, guys, I don't give a shit if nobody shows up to this damn fight, right? I don't give a shit if they don't make a damn dollar on this damn fight. That's not my business. I am still interested in the fight not because of the storyline. The storyline is cool. I think that makes it a little bit more interesting. I'll be watching the press conference a little bit later to see if anything cool happened that can, make me even want to see the fight even more. But Nahir Albright is the story here, guys. He is the protein on the plate. It's not Keyshawn, right? Like Keyshawn is expected to do what Keyshawn does. Now, I'll tell you this. The Keyshawn who fought Nahir Albright a couple of years ago is not the same Keyshawn today. The Keyshawn today is way more patient, works behind his jab, a lot more patient. He's not looking to just jump all over you. He has no problem finishing you up in the championship rounds. We saw that when he fought against Jermaine Ortiz, right? When he fought against Jermaine Ortiz, what we saw, Ray, is Keyshawn slowed his fight game down, right? Comfortably. He slowed it down. He worked behind the jab. He attacked the body. He meticulously broke down his opponent, who he respected and say has a high pedigree. Keyshawn comes into this fight with Nahir Albright with the experience of the last fight. If you watch the last fight and you remember what happened, Ray, Keyshawn was pressing Nahir Albright. He was trying to get Nahir Albright out the way, almost like he didn't respect him, right? Like, I'm going to get you out the way. I'm going to add you to my list of knockouts. Nahir Albright loves those kind of fighters because when you get into those exchanges with Nahir Albright, he likes to punch with the punchers. He will throw direct, clean, straight shots, short shots in between your shots and hurt you. And that's what we saw him do against Keyshawn Davis in that last fight. I've got a feeling this fight is going to be way more cerebral. Keyshawn's going to challenge Nahir Albright in a different way. He's going to press him on a can you outbox me? Because contrary to popular belief, you caught me with shots because you punched me while I was punching on you. That was a reckless thing that I think Keyshawn can legitimately fix on his side, right? Especially on the back end of experiencing that with Nahir Albright, he's become way more cerebral. Pay attention to how he fought that Jermaine Ortiz fight. He slowed the whole fight down, bro. Jermaine was waiting on him. He was waiting on him to attack him. That's what Jermaine thought he was going to get a chance, and it never happened. He just worked from that range, stabbed the body, right? Went up top. He was in and out, and Jermaine was waiting forever. It almost looked like Jermaine couldn't let his hands go, right? Because Jermaine just knew he was going to be the counterpuncher that evening. He knew he was going to get this guy who thought he was all that, and he was going to take advantage of it, and Keyshawn didn't give him that. Keyshawn is becoming way more cerebral. Being in there with Shakur Stevenson, being in there with Terrence Crawford, with Bomac, all those experiences he had, the experience with Nahir Albright played his part as well, has changed Keyshawn Davis to become a way more cerebral fighter. There's a reason why people are seeing a young Terrence Crawford in Keyshawn Davis. And I think he's going to do more to move that conversation more forward as far as him being like Terrence Crawford. Now, as far as Nahir Albright, the interesting thing with him is obviously the history he had with Keyshawn Davis, but also the next interesting thing is that he had that fight with Frank Martin, right?
Right.
He hurt Frank Martin. Frank Martin is a big sought after fighter. People look at Frank Martin, they go, listen, man, They go, listen, man, bro, that was a big deal. Frank just came off of a knockout of the year candidate when he went against what Barthélemy. You know what I'm saying? Against Rance Barthélemy. So to see Nahir Albright do that has made the fight more interesting, because now it's like you beat the brother, Kelvin Davis. People would argue you beat Frank Martin. You hurt Keyshawn Davis in the fight that you had with him back in the day. Can Nahir Albright, I don't want to say a Fabio Worley thing because he's not, he is a good fighter, but can he come out of nowhere on the back end of beating Keyshawn Davis? Does Nahir Albright all of a sudden become top 10, 140 pounder in the division?
Yeah,
Does that give him that?
I will tell you he can, and I'll tell you why. I think what we're missing the point is Nahir Albright, as Top Rank always does, brings fighters down or up to fight their prospects or future.
Yo, hold on, my bad. Bear with me here, bro.
Yeah.
SSSM 1999. My bad, bro. I did kind of forget about the super chat. I appreciate. Thank you for the love, man. Thank you for the color in the chat, bro. He says news here in Australia. Oh, shout out! I didn't even know you were from Australia. Broke yesterday. Jai versus Noel for the WBC in August, and they're suing the IBF to reinstate Jai. They're finalizing the terms apparently. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. 1999. We talked about it earlier, bro. Yeah, man, great news, man. And just, that's what got us all into the Zuffa boxing conversation, and just them participating in the traditional space. But I appreciate the love, man. But you can rewind the tape. I don't think we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna let Ray get back at it. Thank you again, brother.
Yeah, no doubt. So I was saying that almost lost my train of thought. So anyway, I was saying that
with Nahir becoming top 10, 140,
bringing the Top Rank likes to bring their fighters down or up to fight their up and coming fighters, and they all came down to 135 from 140 to fight him. He wasn't competing there like many other fighters that Keyshawn fought, which is okay. But now he's at comfortable weights. I just watched the press conference while we were starting, and I'm going to tell you right now, Keyshawn is talking about stepping to him and knocking him out. He told him he's got everything due to it. Now, this could be mind games. We don't know. But maybe he does think something differently. We also have to remember, I'm glad you mentioned Bomac, is no longer in the corner. Neither is Terrence Crawford of Keyshawn Davis. Yes, I'm pretty sure he's around there somewhere, hiding in the corner somewhere in the back room of the B&B training facility somewhere. But at the same time, he's not with them. So we don't know what changes he has and what it can do and how it's going to affect the fight, especially coming back in a rematch after you had such a close fight with Bomac and Terrence in your corner. Now you're with your old trainer, and we've seen that differences in the style that you fought. Do you go in there and get caught with something because you're trying to get revenge? Does he hit you with something and force you into a fight you don't want to have? These are the things we have to look at with Keyshawn, is his mentality going into this fight. Now, like I said, I have him winning. But I'm not going to rule out the Philly guy, the young man. I think he's got a great chance of upsetting Keyshawn here. Don't be surprised if it happens.
Yeah, no, the only thing I'll say, Clay, is so if you're betting, right? Traditionally, and I hate to always do this, but it's just the truth. Traditionally, when Top Rank puts on a promotion, if it goes to decision, it's almost impossible that the favorites don't get the decision. No matter how controversial it can look, it's almost impossible so if it does go to decision, even if we believe that Nahir Albright did enough to win, it'll probably go Keyshawn Davis's way. I just hope that Nahir Albright gives us that school teacher energy as a nurse. And you never know, man. I mean, if a school teacher can do it, anyone can do it.
Good point. Good point.
100%.
And then we just saw how on Keyshawn's last homecoming, maybe fighting at home isn't the best thing for you, man. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe there's too many things surrounding you, right?
He also did the Gustavo Limos fight at home, right? He also had one of the best performances of his career at home. So it's a 50-50. So he got one shit bag,
right?
And then he's got one of the best performances ever against Gustavo Limos. So it's up in the air.
Right. Then the other thing I'll say, because I know you'll talk about all the rest of the cards, but did you guys notice that both Kelvin and Keon are in tough fights also? Because Keon's fighting the Haiti guy, and I'm like, this dude ain't easy. The guy from Haiti, that's a tough
Is that the guy who fought?
He fought. Oh my god,
Ammo? No,
he fought because his name is Edwin Humane Jr. He's 9 wins, 2 losses. But he fought Yoelvis Gomez for MVP. He got a majority decision loss. But then before that, he fought Andreal Holmes for Salida Promotions. And that went to unanimous decision. So this is a dude that took Andreal Holmes the distance and had a majority decision loss against Yoelvis Gomez. I don't know, man. I don't know if Keon's ready for it. I mean, I hope Keon does all right.
No, I think Keon is. I think Keon, I told you guys a long time ago, Keon is a 147-pound demon, bro. He got the physical.
But this is a 54, Clay.
Yeah,
it's a 54.
No, but listen, this is even better. This is even better because he was too small at 147. I mean, he was too big at 147. I was worried about him being at 147 too long. So this is perfect timing for him. But yeah, listen, anything can happen. But I am very excited to see what he does in that division because Keon arguably is kind of like the low key, kind of like the Emiliano Vargas of the brothers.
Oh,
he's kind of like the he's only 4-0. You know what I'm saying? But he's low key the one who's like people just ain't seen him like that yet. I've heard people talking about Keon in Virginia, bro. I'm telling you, there's a conversation going on about Keon. Like, yo, low key, Keon, the Davis brother. It ain't even Keyshawn. It's Keon. It ain't Kelvin.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah. No. Well, that's the other thing I was going to tell you guys is Kelvin. He's in there with Pete Dobson. And whatever the plus money is on that, I might put it on Dobson if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I might just look into that.
Pete Dobson's tough. Pete Dobson's a tough fight.
Yeah, look at Joseph Jackson said he the only nice one. I'm telling you, you guys will learn to hear me, take the insight, and wait. And you'll learn to wait on me, bro. I promise you, you will learn to wait on me.
Okay. Wow. All right.
But listen, it can go bad for sure. But I'm letting you guys know, Keon ain't the weakest link. I promise you, he's not the weakest. Is he the strongest one? I don't know. I would say Keyshawn is, right? Keyshawn is obviously the one earning the name, doing what he does. But Keon is not the weakest link.
I think he might work out. I think he might work out due to the fact of his class of fighters. Like as the other guys age out and things like that, he might just be in a good middle space of the boxing realm. So we'll see how it works. I want to touch on what's there. I gotta go get my son, if you don't mind, the Brian Norman thing real quick. What I was going to say is this might be a setup, man. They might be trying, according to shout out to Showbiz, but according to him, and I never thought of this, but they might be trying to set up Brian Norman in a tough fight just to this is what he said, just to get a diminish Devin's fight against him, like to say like he was overrated and this and that. I don't seem to think so. I think he washes this guy, but listen, man, if Showbiz knows something, he just like you, Clay. He has good intuition.
I mean, he has insight. He has an opinion on what he sees, what he saw in Brian Norman. Fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Top Rank giving Brian Norman Jr. a real litmus test because listen, bro, before that Santillan fight, he was on his way out the door with Top Rank. Right? Mm-hmm. He had that upset. Let's not get it twisted. Upset victory over Santillan. And then they matched him well, right? They got him in there with Jin Sasaki. That was a payday, but no, everybody knew he was going to put Jin Sasaki in a coma. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew it. Everybody saw it coming. It was an opportunity, and it was a fight of the year candidate, highlight reel. It helped with his brand, right? Well, first of all, he jumped in there with Cuevas, you know what I'm saying? And we saw him get hurt in that fight, right? But we said, okay, he had a little hiatus because he had some hand surgery, and he was just a little inactive, and boom, but he ended up stopping Cuevas with a jab. So, okay, fine. Then he gets in the ring with Jin Sasaki, and he makes that dude forget who he was for the last 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? They had to remind that dude that he even was in a fight. But then he gets in there with Devin and gets kind of exposed in real time, right? He got exposed. Not only him, his team, the whole movement got exposed. The whole movement got exposed as to not being organized and ready. Now he's getting in there with Ronnie Shields. Is he? This guy's number 2 right now in the division, bro. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? In the division. Is he that? Is he that, or is he a hype train? So if this Josh Wagner is supposed to be the litmus test, which I'm being real with you, I don't believe he is. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's a litmus test. I think he's going to fight. I think he's going to get knocked the hell out. I'm be honest with you, but that's what's up though. What Biz is saying is true as far as If what this is saying is true, then this is a real litmus test. So if he knocks this dude out on the back end of dominating and knocking this dude out, does Brian Norman get right back into the conversation of a title shot after knocking this guy out? If we're going to get, because that's what comes with it, right? Angelo and Ray, what comes with it is if he's supposed to be the real test, if he's supposed to be the guy who's going to derail Brian Norman, then on the back end of Brian Norman putting that dude through the torture rack, then we got to give Brian Norman super flowers, right? Am I bugging?
No, I agree with you. That's why I was like, shout out to Biz. I make sure I put it on his name because they ain't me saying it. But yeah, man, I like this fight. I think Brian Norman is a good comeback fight for him, a good test, in my opinion. I think that when we get into the ring that night with Brian Norman and Josh, whatever his name is, I think that we're going to see Brian Norman pace himself and fight, use his left hook and his defense more. I think he's working on that defense, and I think that left hook is going to be, and it's going to be to the body, y'all. Remember, body shot. He's going to catch this dude under the armpit, and he's going to hurt him. Brian Norman's looking to break some ribs, bro. I've been watching the training footage and all that, and that's what they've been working on. So don't be surprised. Brian Norman believes he's going to get an opportunity to fight Rolly or not Smith, Ryan next. So let's see what happens. He wants them all. So I'll take the unification of heartbeat with Devin or whoever's next. So let's see it happen.
Yeah, the name Ray Davis is Josh Wagner. Put some respect on the Canadian brother's name, bro.
All right, Josh Wagner. I got it now. Wagner.
And Josh Wagner took Harlem Eubank the distance.
Now I agree with Clay. Beat the shit out of him.
I agree with Clay that if things
don't make me get on Harlem Eubank, bro.
Yeah, that was terrible. I agree let me go, fellas. I'm gonna listen in the chat.
Hey, man, shout out to Canada and all our Canada listeners.
For sure.
But I agree with Claymore that if Ronnie Shields did what he did, and if Brian Norman is now back to form, I agree with you, Clay. He should get a knockout. This should be a spectacular knockout,
or at least a bludgeoning, right?
Yeah, and he's right back in the picture of things, right? But let's say it ends up not looking as good. Maybe
it's not going to be a good thing. It's not going to be a good thing, bro. If it doesn't,
I mean, the only thing I was going to say that's good.
But he just renewed his contract with Top Rank too. He renewed his contract with Top Rank on the back having that title.
Then he really needs to put this dude away. Then, because it's really not going to look good if he lets Josh Wagner even take him to decision, and he starts to look like a Harlem Eubank. And you know what I'm saying? Like he starts to look like show weakness at 147. And Josh Wagner ends up signing to Zuffa. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Don't let Devin Haney pack up Josh Wagner for you, man.
That's very. By the way, I haven't said anything. We got over 80 people in the building. I don't know how many likes we have, but I bet money we don't got 80 likes. Hit the like button right now, man. Support the grind. Support the channel, man. Shout out to people who've already subscribed. I mean, who've already hit the like button. Thank you. The people who haven't, come on, bro. Get on your job. Show some love right now. Hit the like button. And also subscribe to the channel right now if you haven't done so as well. We're trying to hit that 4K as soon as possible because I really want to hit damn near 10K by the end of the year. But definitely want to hit that 4K yesterday. So subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Yeah, Brian Norman's fight is going to hold the weight, man. I personally didn't rate Josh Wagner that way. I thought this was a tune-up, get ready fight, acclimate back to the division fight, help him and give him and Ronnie Shields an opportunity to have a fight together where the pressure isn't on them and where more than likely he'll win. Let them come together, melt. But if Showbiz wants to say that Josh Wagner is the you know what I mean, can do this, can do the job, can get crazy and upset. Listen, we just saw on the back end of seeing David Morrell get upset by a school teacher, anything is possible, right? Everybody need to be on their game, bro. Everybody need to be on their game. Any given Sunday, anybody can get it. Shout out to Adrian Broder, right? Anybody can get it. So, you know, be on your A game. I put the link out there in the channel, by the way. If you guys didn't see it, feel free to hit it. Come up here. Talk to me about what the topics we talked about. Let me know what's going on. Matter of fact, we got somebody in the building right now. Shout out to my guy, Akeem Blake in the building.
Peace. What's going on, fellas?
Peace, family. Peace, family. What's good?
Chilling, man. Man, oh man.
Talk to me
real quick. I know it's not the topic, but if Brian Norman, excuse me, if Brian Norman wins, does he deserve A title shot?
Listen, bro, he's number 2 in the division on the Ring Magazine rankings, bro. If he gets a dominating wing, bro, let's look at the division for what it is, right? You got Devin Haney, who's a WBO title holder, right? Who took it from Brian Norman. He's, I think in this division, if he doesn't get a title fight next, he should be fighting some sort of an eliminator, right? Because who is really more deserving of it than him outside of the champions, right? There might be a handful of people, but who?
T.O.
Okay, so maybe he fights T.O. I mean,
not necessarily he fights T.O., but I'm just looking at people in like I'm like sitting in the back and just watching people who's losing their belts, like they're not getting right back to the money. So I don't see why he should get, like, who else at 147
Oh, I can. You want me to
deserves.
give you names who deserves it? I can give you names. I can go into the Rohan Polancos. I can go into the Tiger Johnsons. I can go into names, right? I can go
Right.
into names at 147 that deserve it. But at the end of the day, what is Top Rank interested in doing with Brian Norman is a big question, right? Like that's what it comes down to. It's not about necessarily deserving. It's about commercial value, right? It's about this guy was in a big fight with Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? On Riyadh. It was a big fight for Devin. It's a big fight for him that he lost. He's right there at the number 2 spot. He's also the road to a lineal title for a champion like Devin Haney. For any of those champions inside of that top 2, top 3, he's number 2. So a victory against him as a champion puts any of those guys with a Ring Magazine belt around their waist. So he holds weight on the back end of a big victory. He brings value to the table as far as accolades and probably even paydays. We don't know what Turkey's looking at him as. Maybe Turkey's waiting to kind of make a decision.
I'll say one thing. At 147, let hypothetically, if he had a belt at 147, he is the only person that I'm looking at it like Jenga or Tetris. His block is the only block that'll move, because Devin, not that Devin won't fight, but Devin is real, like, straightforward in what he wants. So that kind of holds up the division. Then you see, remember we talked months ago about, I was like, Mauricio is going to squeeze the juice out of that belt with Ryan. They're going to parlay around with that belt and do so many things before they match him with someone that can actually take it from him. But it's like Brian Norman will probably be the only person that'll oblige the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's hungry. He's hungry, and he's never been the kind of person who's ducking any kind of fight. So that's another thing, right? I remember I had another video I did where I talked about options versus willing fighters, right? Like there's always options, but who's willing to make it happen? Shakur Stevenson has options, right? He could fight Dalton Smith. He could fight Gary Antoine Russell. He could fight Ray Muratalla. He could fight Tank Davis. But who's willing to sign the contract and fight him, right? That's the fight they're trying to make, is the guy who's willing to. And I think Brian Norman Jr. is he has a can-do attitude. He's ready to fight the fights as long as it makes sense, money-wise, business-wise, title-wise, whatever it is, he'll do it, man. So, I mean, I think Brian Norman Jr. in the winning column is a good thing for Top Rank if they're trying to make big fights, because he's willing to make the fights happen. Akeem, I'm not going to hold you up here long, though. So is there anything else you want to speak on? Because somebody else is behind you. I'm not doing the whole big.
Oh, no, cool. Just on the Keyshawn situation, has to be a master class. Like, if he doesn't put on a master class, like, I don't even know, because like with Albright, had he beat Frank Martin, we would be talking about him different. And his manager is getting him into these mixes. Shout out to his manager, whoever doing what it do for him. So like Keyshawn, this something will change if Keyshawn doesn't put on a masterclass and beat this dude, and it's a draw or something like that. Man, we about to pivot from Keyshawn until he get it together, bro.
I don't see it that way. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think if he does have a very competitive fight with Nahir Albright, it will benefit Nahir. It will validate him, because we've already seen him being consistently against upsetting the odds, right? So at this point, I think this fight, a very competitive fight, makes us finally be like, Nahir Albright's the truth, right? If he gets dominated, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be bad for Frank. It's gonna be bad for you know what I mean, the people who got into the competitive fights for him. But Keyshawn, the worst case scenario outside of losing, that is, if he loses, it's gonna be, you know, if he loses, but if he has a competitive fight with this guy, he just becomes human. He becomes beatable. And I think a lot of people who weren't trying to give him a fight, all of a sudden will give him a fight. That's what happened with Jerron Boots Ennis, right? Jerron Boots Ennis had a competitive fight with Karen, where Karen wasn't even competitive, right? But Karen was just moving around the ring and frustrated him. All of a sudden, people was willing to fight him. That's how it works, right? All of a sudden, it was like, I'll fight him. All of a sudden, Brian Norman Sr. was like, let me get a contract, right?
Yeah, can I actually just add to that real quick too, Akeem? So with the Karen, even with that, the Boots, he just revealed what most people didn't know on the Akam Barak interview that he did last week, which is for the Karen fight. The reason why he's not making excuses, but the reason why he looked the way he looked is he was so overweight to hit the IBF scale, the second day scale, that he was running like all night. And he told the story, and he says, and no one knows that story, the craziness of it all and the whole bit. So maybe if Keyshawn does look human, that's how Keyshawn gets a fight with Lomachenko or something. You know what I mean? Like looking human isn't the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an option, but I think the big fights, you know, I think an Isak Cruz is a legitimate option. I think a Dalton Smith is a legitimate option. Dalton Smith.
That'd be fine.
I think a Devin Haney becomes a legitimate option. I think when people are, I think boxing is strategic, right, at its core. And I think people fight people at the right time. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's the right time to fight somebody where you're like, yeah, don't think that Canelo didn't see the Israel Madrimov fight with Terrence and be like, don't think that didn't influence a man who said he would never fight Terrence because he brought nothing to the table. All of a sudden seeing that fight, be like, I'll fight him now. Oh, right. I'll fight him now. Like, that's what happens. Just welcome to boxing, baby. Welcome to boxing, baby. There's people who are waiting in the bushes, in the dark alleys, waiting for you to have your worst days to come and snatch your ass up and make a fight happen with you, right? That's what we're dealing with. So it's called matchmaking.
Yeah. All right, brothers. I'll get back to the chat. I got y'all.
No doubt, fam. Thank you, bro. Talk to you soon. Peace. Mag 7 in the building. What's up, Mag 7? What kind of tank nonsense you about to come up on here and want to talk to me?
Claymore Rain.
That's him. That's what they keep
calling me. Can you hear me, dog?
Yes, sir. Talk to me. What's good with you, famo?
I can't hear you, Clay.
You can't hear me? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. You don't hear me?
Can you hear me, Clay?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
I can't hear you.
Damn. Come out and come back in.
Come back in.
Come back in. Yeah. So yeah, you know, that's what I see for Keyshawn. I think Keyshawn is, first of all, I don't think he's gonna lose. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if you heard my breakdown and my take on it before, but he just learned to slow down his fight game, right? He slowed his game down. I think he's become more dangerous on the back end of that. Mag, what's good? Do you hear me? Do you hear me, Mag 7? Mag 7 got the trap phone, bro. He got the Obama phone, bro. Mag. It is what it is. Bruce Gas in the building, man. Bruce Gas boxing in the building.
What's going on in the UK, nigga? Yo.
Hold on. That ain't Bruce Gas.
Yo. This is the real MC, bro. The real BG, bro. That's what I'm saying. I mean, yo, listen. I just want to put it down, bro. Do you think Shakur can beat Tank, bro?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think he can beat Tank.
Yo, listen, bro. Shakur's gonna beat Tank's ass, bro.
Yeah.
Tank is gonna get beasted up so bad. Tank's gonna get beasted up so bad. He's gonna wish it was Sunday on a Monday, bro.
If the fight happens, right? If the fight happens, for sure. I think Tank is a fighter who we haven't seen in there with the highest level of boxer, right? We know what he likes. He likes the aggressive fighter. He likes the guy who presses him. He likes that. But what does he do when he gets in front of a more cerebral fighter like a Lamont Roach? He kind of freezes up a little bit. So he'd have to break down Shakur, compete with Shakur on a boxing level before he can catch Shakur. And yeah, without a doubt, man.
Ain't gonna do that. Ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna come up to Shakur like that. He ain't gonna do that. Listen, he's gonna go like this.
So where you at? Where you from, Bruce Gas Gang? Where you from?
Yo, I live in Birmingham in the UK, bro.
No doubt, no
Birmingham.
doubt, man. You made me a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And I feel like you might have dropped the N-bomb a little bit earlier. I'm not too sure if I heard that or if I didn't hear that. So let's not do that again. Let's be respectful. But no, you cool, bro. You cool. I like you, man. I like you. So what'd you think about your the Fabio Wardley Daniel Dubois fight? Did you think Fabio was gonna do it, or did you read it the right way and call for Daniel Dubois to win?
Listen, back in the day, back in 2015, 2016, I used to go to the original Daniel Dubois fights. I was at them. I'm like 56 years old, so I'm an old man now. Like I put my camera on, bro. Like an old guy. I'm an old man. I'm an old man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm an old guy. I'm not a young guy. I'm twice the age of you guys, but I just want to put it out. I'll put it out there, bro. Like I think Daniel Dubois is the real deal, the real Shamil, bro. It's the real fucking Shamil, bro. It's like everyone's trying to get all greasy about this, and they're trying to say Daniel Dubois this. That. Listen, I'll put my camera on, yeah. We all saw the first fight, yeah. Daniel Dubois bodied Usyk he bodied him, got him in the stomach here.
Right.
He bodied him in the stomach in the first fight. He got done in the first fight. Usyk and that. There should have never been a rematch. The first fight between Dubois and Usyk was a knockout for Dubois. He knocked him clean out. Because if you watch the original footage of the referee in that fight, pre-fight, he tells him what's going on. He says you can hit here, you can hit here, you can hit in all these places, yeah. You can hit all these places, yeah. And like Dubois hit Usyk clean here. Yeah.
Right on the belt line.
So it was a legit knockout, bro.
What do you think about Daniel Dubois? What do you think about the frustration, though? Because people talk about the mental space of Daniel Dubois and how, when it gets dark, he tries to find a way out the fight. He doesn't. Grit through it.
Listen. Yo, bro. That's all bullshit, bro. Because I was at the Dubois fight. It's a fight against, you remember Joe Joyce, 2017?
Yes, right.
I was at that fight. I was actually at that fight, yeah. And I went to London. I was working in London. I got divorced from my woman. So I got the train down to watch the fight. So I was like watching the fight in London and shit like that. And Dubois is a legit individual, bro. He got his eye blasted out. He got all this shit fucking. We've all been there, yeah. We've all been there. We've all got fucking faces blasted in. I don't know what goes on in America, but it's a bit nasty here. I don't know what goes on
yeah.
But listen. I think Dubois is legit, mad legit. We're going MC legit, bro. We're going
no
MC.
doubt. Hey, man, listen, man. Appreciate you popping up here, man. Thank you, man. Bruce, guys, was good. It was good having you in the building, bro. Thank you for your take, brother.
Yeah,
talk to you soon, bro.
Have a good night, bro.
Subscribe to the channel, brother. Peace. Yeah, he made me nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I was nervous. I don't know about y'all, but I was nervous. But he turned out to be good. I liked him.
No. Bruce Gas has been on our thing before on the comment section.
Which one? There's Bruce Gas Jazz, who I know his face. I know who he is. We're very familiar. And then there's that guy. That guy is not Bruce Gas.
I thought that was
guy's
the
another Bruce Gas
Jazz guy. Okay.
That's why when I hit the horn, I was bringing in Bruce Gas is like Echo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's like Echo. He's like boxing royalty, low key. He's an OG. He's an OG in the game. When he goes on all these platforms, we all know Bruce. So when he popped up, I was like, oh shit. I didn't know what to expect. And I was like, my heart was beating a little bit. I'm like, what does this do about doing? Then especially when he started talking about the body shots and he kept lowering the camera. If you guys peep game, I had my hand on that remove button. Like, boy, what you about to do? What? Why you getting that low in the camera, bro? You going? Well, hold up now. Well, I don't hear you, Ray.
My bad. Last time he came up, I don't even remember. He actually co-signed the name Round One.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember there was another Round One that was the same gentleman. I was going to ask him that before you told him, he had to go.
Look, Mac know what time it is, right, Mac? We
got
nervous.
I seen it, bro.
When he started doing the body shots, I pulled up, I had my finger right on that remove button. I was like, hold up now. Wait a second now. Wait, what you doing, though? Why you gotta, we know what a body shot look like. You ain't gotta show us where a body shot go, bro. We know where a body shot, you know what I'm saying, Angelo? I'm like, you don't got a tutorial. We don't need no tutorial on body shots, bro. We know where body shots go, bro. What you doing, bro? He's like, yeah, you know where body shots. He backed up. I was like, whoa, you backing up on the camera now, bro? Where you at,
boy?
Bro?
He was
where
looking
you at right now?
Yeah, boy. He was.
You got to be on your game, bro. You got to be on your game when you open up these panels. You have got to be on your game. You got to
keep the frequent low, bro. Like frequent puts the
Ever since they caught my guy Greg Hackett, bro, I've been on my P's and Q's,
they caught
bro.
frequent over there. You ain't frequent tell you?
Nah, what happened? Somebody came over there.
Oh my God, bro! Listen, frequent got a security measure though. I'm just gonna tell you, he pulled up the dude up on the channel. You start seeing, and I'm like, what the? And frequent wasn't even looking. He said he wasn't looking. I'm like, hey, yo, I wasn't looking either. I looked. I said, yo, what? He's like, oh, yo, what is this? So he just threw it off.
Yeah, listen, I broke out in a sweat, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I got nervous because I was like, I'm like, yo, hey, Phil, UK team, put on your camera, bro. Put on your camera, brother. Put on your camera. Hey, it's still you, bro. You keep switching the name up, bro. What's good with you, bro? What's good with you?
Yo, I'm good, bro. Good.
Okay. You hear us talking. You had us nervous up here, bro. I was nervous, bro. I was like, what is going on here? I do not know, man.
Bro, this is my game, bro. This is my game. Game.
No doubt. No, you had some good takes, man. It's just the YouTube space with the streaming and the links has been very people coming up here putting up dildos, pulling their pants down, showing their butt cheeks, showing their man, showing their man energy on the camera. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're out there advertising for something, bro. And you just gotta be careful when you see somebody come out of nowhere. It's like, hold on. And plus, you had the same name as my guy Bruce Gas Boxing, like Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz. I don't know if you're familiar with him. So I was expecting somebody else. When I seen the face, my heart skipped a beat. I'm like, shit. Let me not jump the gun, but I gotta pay attention. And then you started with the body shots and lowering the camera. I'm like, we don't need no body tutorial. What are you about to
do? Bro, that's great. Yo, I do normally come out here with the dick shots, bro. It is what it is.
Nah, bro, I was ready. I was definitely ready to go ahead and shut the camera down. You was about to be out of here for life, bro. No problems.
No. I think the dick shots should be banned, bro. They should be. Banned.
They are banned. Unfortunately, people still do them. They are banned. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But no doubt, bro. But hey, man, feel free to come up anytime. We're gonna move the needle a little bit, bro. You got the link, man. I know how you coming now. Talk to you soon. Yeah, bro. It is what it is, man. But looking forward to the fights this weekend. It's about that time. We're hitting that 2-hour mark. Guys, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it. Let's help the channel grow. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Great conversations today, man. We talked about Zuffa boxing. We talked about Vasily Lomachenko. We talked about Keyshawn Davis and Nahir Albright. I think that fight is an interesting fight for sure, man. I know the story. I know people are like, why? But I just think as far as a fight is concerned, I think Nahir Albright has shown us that he's going to fight. And Keyshawn Davis has been showing us that he's going to fight. So I think we got two people in the ring who going to fight. And Nahir Albright is a protein on the plate for me because Nahir Albright is got to make this fight, right? This is his opportunity, right, Angelo? Like this is Keyshawn, we expect him to show up and do his thing. And, all that being said, all he got to do is win, right? He might catch some hell being in a split decision, but he'll be okay. Nahir, you showed us something with the Frank Martin fight. You showed us something with the Kelvin fight, man. This is the opportunity. This is as close to a title fight Nahir's going to get without it being a title fight, right? This is
a
legit name.
Yeah, no, I just want Nahir Albright to put on a hell of a fight, and same with Josh Wagner, by the way, against Brian Norman, because we got a couple of roster spots open for Zuffa, and we'd like to invite both of you to come on over. So let's see what y'all got. Let's see what Nahir and Josh Wagner got. We trying to sign more Canadians, Clay. We trying to sign more Canadians to the roster.
Man. So, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Support the grind. Hit the like button right now, man. Come on, man. Too many people been in here for the like button not to get hit. And subscribe to the channel, man. Let's see the subscribers go up, man. It is what it is.
The other thing I was gonna say, Clay, is again, look at your FanDuel, DraftKings. I'm telling you, that Pete Dobson money might be good plus money, man.
I'm hoping Kelvin.
Pete Dobson's no joke, man. I don't think Kelvin Davis could do it. Shout out to DB3, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hold on, let me tell you something, bro. Pete Dobson has shown me what he can do with people who want to fight. He hasn't shown me what he can do with people who want to box. I'm gonna be real with you. And that's what Kelvin's gonna bring to the table. So don't be shocked if it's not a one-sided affair. Shout out to my brother Low Nose Boxing, cause Low Nose Boxing. What's good, Low?
Yo, salute to my brother Zuffa Clay, aka Cassius Clay. My boy Ray is in the building. What's going on? What's going on, gentlemen? Yo, I'm very excited about Lomachenko returning to boxing. That's the return of another great star. And a lot of people already hating, talking about why does he skip the line? Well, let me tell you, if he does skip the line, the fight that makes the most sense for him and for the other person is Gervonta Tank Davis. And the reason why I say that is because both guys have been rivals who never fought each other. And right now, at the moment, it makes sense because both Gervonta and Lomachenko are both coming off of layoffs, right? When you look around what's available for Loma, because they already stated he only wants big fights, so there's no tune-ups. The only guys around his weight class that are big names is Shakur Stevenson, a.k.a. Little Macho, right? But why are you going to put Lomachenko in there with a guy that's coming off of the best win of his career by whitewashing the only guy that definitively beat Lomachenko and Tio? So why should Lomachenko fight Shakur, right? Devin Haney's at 147. Teofimo rematch, Tio's moving to 147, which brings me to Gervonta Davis, a man who hasn't fought in over a year, a fighter who in his last performance showed chinks in his armor mentally. He looked like he wanted to quit, right? So this fight makes sense for both of them. And if Gervonta Davis knocks Lomachenko out, I'm not going to be one of the detractors to say he doesn't get credit. He does. If Tank knocks out Lomachenko, the White Wolf, the guy who looked spectacular in his last outing, I'm putting him back on the top 10 pound for pound. And that goes for Lomachenko as well. Because one thing about Lomachenko, right? He's been one of the most consistent performers in boxing. And I'm going to make a bold statement, right? And I'm going to throw my guy into the mix. If you put Lomachenko, Tio, and Devin, and all three of them retired today, and they were up for the Hall of Fame, and one of them had to go in, despite the fact that two of them have been undisputed, or some people might not claim the other one is undisputed, Lomachenko is getting in before both of those young lions. Because Lomachenko doing his run has been more consistent, right? There hasn't been hiccups. You look at Tio, he had bad performances against Nakatani, had good performances, bad performances, good performances. And believe it or not, you got to throw Devin Haney in that mix as well as far as inconsistencies, right? When Devin first faced an elite guy in Lomachenko, many people felt like he lost. He looked spectacular against Regis Prograis, right? And then he lost to Ryan Garcia, whatever you want to say. Then he came back and looked bad against Jose Ramirez and then looked great against Brian Norman. When Lomachenko doing his run, everything was consistency with the exception of the Jermaine Ortiz victory, right? And Loma, unlike those two guys, has been top 5 pound for pound. So with that being said, Lomachenko is that guy. I'm not saying he beats Tank, but that's the fight we need. Lomachenko versus Tank Davis. Both guys are coming off of layoffs. I'd rather see Loma and Tank over Tank versus Pitbull and the Lamont Roach rematch is always going to be there. That's how. That's my take on the whole situation.
Always with the crazy takes. Lo, you don't be coming up here no more. You don't be fucking with me like that no more, bro. Now you up here.
That's a good take, Lo.
Lo, that guy, he has a channel and everything. Lo's channel should be way more popular than it is. I've been watching Lo since he had less than 1,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I've always watched Lo, and Lo's always been that dude who's very, very dialed in with boxing history as well as reading these fights. I don't know why your channel ain't big. I have no idea. I'm be real with you. I have no idea why your channel ain't where it's supposed to be. He's one of those guys, bro. Period. That's a fact for me.
I appreciate that, Clay.
What's up, Lo?
Nah, yeah, you definitely are, bro. Your takes are always clean. You always back it up with facts, history. You go through the resume. Every single one of his takes sound like the take he just did right here. Every time. Go to his channel, call me a liar. Find the one that he ain't doing it like this.
Yeah. And what I like too about your take, Lo, is that you weren't playing favorites. Like, we clearly all have who our favorite fighter is, but you just lay out the facts. And you're absolutely right, man. It'd be diabolical for Lomachenko not to be the first one in the Hall of Fame if their careers were to stop right now. That would be ridiculous.
So we're clear, Angelo. There's my favorite fighter. There's my favorite fighter. So we're clear.
What? Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you sure it's not Devin Haney, Ray? Are you sure?
Lomachenko, the fighter?
Do you see Devin Haney on my wall?
All right.
Okay.
I bet I'm going to see Devin Haney on your wall at some point.
Yeah, right.
And I got to keep it real because, like I said, my favorite, like, I'm one of the 7 T.O. fans because they call us the T.O. 7. It's me, Punch Drunk, and a couple of other guys, and that's it. Everybody against T.O.
Don't forget about HLD, your Puerto Rican brother that said you're not from the island.
T.O.'s not Puerto Rican.
No. I said your boy HLD.
HLD's my guy, man. HLD roots for T.O. as well, but we all different. You know what I'm saying? Like, my difference between me and HLD is I call T.O. out on the shit as well. Like, right now, T.O.'s still my guy. I hope he bounces back, but he's also in the doghouse with me right now because I'm not a fan of how he's not holding himself accountable for that loss to Shakur Stevenson. I don't want to hear about
excuses again. He's doing that shit again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't want to hear about conspiracy theories. At the end of the day, you let me down as a fighter, right? You was labeled as a fighter that gets up for the big moments, right? Because that's what he's shown in the past. This is the biggest moment. This is what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? Pay-per-view, Madison Square Garden, against one of his contemporaries, right? And he shit the bed. And it's okay. You lose a fight, but may the best man win. And that's that. I don't want to hear about anything else, bro. I don't want to hear about conspiracies, man. Just go back to the lab and get better. That's that. I don't want to hear nothing else, man. I'm not a fan of the things that he says when it comes to the trolling antics and the race baits. But as a fighter, spectacular fighter, he just wasn't, more spectacular than the guy he fought that night. And that's it.
Hey, Lo, just so that you know, man, news might be coming soon about your guy, T.O. And it's looking like he's fighting Kambosos once he signs that Zuffa boxing.
That's what I heard.
Just letting you know, Lo.
That's what I heard. Rematch, yeah.
100%.
Well, wow. And you know what? Wow. I didn't hear that shit. I didn't know where you get that from. But my thing with the Kambosos fight is that, Kambosos lost so badly since that fight with T.O. He got whitewashed by Devin. And I would have been okay after the 2 Devin losses. But then he got stopped by Lomachenko. And then he got stopped by Richardson Hitchens. So now with T.O., it's like you put more pressure. It's like you got to 3-round him. It can't go beyond 7 rounds, bro. Because you got guys that are non-punchers that stop them. You got to go in there and do Diego Magdaleno type performance, which is what we haven't seen in a long time. That's what we got to see with Kambosos.
And Lo, multiple times we've heard the T.O. conversation come up with him, and it just seems like it's just a trigger for T.O. And I think every time you hear Kambosos, excuse me. Every time you hear Kambosos' name when you're Teofimo Lopez, you see him get into a box. He changes. His mentality changes. It's like some type of cast shadow. So maybe it's good for him to get this fight, to get it back in blood and do what he has to do, which we're happy he's doing that. But also at the same time, what kind of mental games does this play with him still? Because it seems like it haunts him every single day.
Yeah, and honestly, it does seem like close that chapter, right? Like,
my food just arrived, guys. I'm gonna get off and I'm gonna come back on, man. All right, let me pick up that call for the food.
Appreciate you. I pinned
All right,
guys. I
Let's go,
pinned
Frequent. Get up here, Frequent. You talking crazy.
Low. I pinned your I pinned Low Nose's channel on in the chat. Y'all go over there and subscribe. I'm telling you, man, he's underrated, bro. You know, and that's, you know, those are the kind of dudes, the kind of channels, I was gonna say dudes I attract to, but I don't attract to no dudes. Channels I attract to, right? I've been watching Low for a while. I actually got onto Low through Mill City. He came up on the platform before, and he actually came up on my platform early too. He hasn't even hit 1,000 subscribers yet, bro. He's supposed to be one of the biggest channels in the game. I'm telling you, bro. Guys, trust me. Hit that link.
Yeah.
And tell me I'm lying. Watch. Tell me I'm lying. He don't do no lives. He only does takes. You know what I'm saying? That's all he does.
No, Low's great because he can be just opinion, like, hey, here's some facts. Form your opinion how you want to opinion. So that was great. Before you go, Ray, I just want to say, so we got coming up with us. When you're talking about underrated, Clay, you know I got to speak about my guy, a brother, Raider Nation, one of the most underrated coaches in boxing today. This man does not get enough credit for the knowledge that he can impart into students, and I cannot wait for all of his fighters to continue to show it. And that is Coach Bernard Hackett joining us on the program today.
Coach,
salute,
talk to me. Hey, Coach,
you're on mute. You're on mute.
Coach, you're muted, but before you say anything, Coach, we got to address the elephant in the room, bro. Fabio Wardley shit in the bed, bro. Talk to me about your boy. You thought he could do it. You loved what he was doing. He showed heart, that big right hand. What happened? What did you see Saturday? What did you think about your boy's performance?
He got beat by a better guy. I don't have a problem with his performance. I do say that maybe he was on the younger side against a maybe better version of an up-and-coming guy as well. You know, to me, he's still the same guy, still put him in the same spot I had him. But sometimes the pot is great, just needs a little more seasoning. But I think he'll go back to the lab. I think he has a name that's big enough and a performance that was big enough to where the people who invest in him, they do justice, in my opinion, to let him take a break, not from boxing, but from live ammo competition. And it would, to me, serve him best to go spar with some top-level, top-rated amateurs and early pros that were top-rated amateurs, and give himself what I would call a crash course in amateur boxing. He can't go back. So because he can't go back, let's kind of pause one tape and put another tape in a different machine. Give him about 10 months to a year, because it ain't like he's hurting for money, and give him his own version of a crash course in trying to make the Olympics. If he can spar with Olympic level guys, spar with some of the guys who are looking to be on the 2028 team, which in the US ain't hard to do, just going to Colorado Springs, then I would get him a crash course in a 1-year version of this is your run to the Olympics. And I would get him in the ring with as many of those top-rated Americans that I can. The reason why I said Americans, because you want him to get a crash course in high-level amateur, but ready to be US-style pros, so that he picks up the things that he never got a chance to by not having a deep amateur career.
I like the build back. I like the build back, but now, I'm gonna mute you for a second because I can hear myself unmute you soon. I like the build back, right? I think I love the build back, to be honest with you. I actually love the build back that you just gave. I think that is the path because he's athletic. He has intangibles that you can take advantage of, right? He has intangibles. So, which is the athleticism, which is the power, right? He brings those things to a heavyweight division that's not athletic. There's power there, but his power is he's arguably the bigger the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? Like, arguably in that fight between him and Daniel Dubois, he was the bigger puncher. He was the explosive guy. He was the guy who the whole fight, you were nervous that something could happen. Like, if that right hand hits at the right time, you just felt it even while he was hurt. You felt like, you know, it's like the dog was there. Like, he can still do this, though. That being said, I want to ask you, as far as from a trainer's point of view and the amount of time he was in that ring, everybody's holding Ben Davidson accountable. Everybody's holding the doctors. They're holding Howard Foster. They're holding everybody accountable, saying that guy took too much punishment, being that young, having such so much career in front of him versus what's behind him. Did his corner do him a disservice, allowing him to stay in the fight that long? Coming from a trainer's point of view, if you was in that corner, seeing what you were looking at coming back to you to that corner every time, this fighter who's you know, becoming less and less of a fighter, more and more of a punching bag, who's got all kinds of damage and a closed eye, a broken nose, blood everywhere, seen the doctor twice, the referee clearly seeing something wrong in there. Did Ben Davidson in that corner do him a disservice, allowing him to be in the ring that long? Would you have moved a little differently if the decision was in your hand?
Yes, and the reason why I say yes is because he's not an aged fighter. If he was an aged fighter, then no, because I got to give him his every shot because he's probably on his back end of his leg. But for a young fighter, he has too much upside. He's already done so much that there's no way I need to let him take any unnecessary beating in a situation where we can bounce back. Every great handler has to know when to pick his dog up off the floor. And not just for he's had enough that day, but he has so much more he can give in the future.
I love it, man.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Coach. Do you think at this point, and we've talked about this before too, but in your opinion, do you think at this point Wardley takes this break, recovers? Maybe it's a good idea for him to try some different trainers, and if he is going to try some different trainers, where would you want Wardley to be, given that he has the power and just the talents that you've seen him have?
You know my opinion on that. I think that when you've had a guy for so long, when you develop that relationship, when you kind of taught him his growth, it doesn't always benefit to move somebody. But what I will say, and I don't use other coaches, I use myself. If I knew his coaching staff, if we had any type of relationship or they knew me and they saw some things in my son that can help him, if they say, hey, coach, can I send him to you for a couple of months and you work with him only your style? Don't try to keep what I have in him. I would say yes. If they say, coach, could we bring Jaleel out? They develop their own bond or kinship, and Jaleel can show him some of the stuff that Jaleel does that we like. Would you do that? I would say yes. And the reason why, if you think back in the past, you had a lot of fighters that had kinships, not this fake brothership that they have now where we won't fight each other, but kinships in the relation of, hey, we can spar together. I can ask you questions. You can ask me. We saw Triple G and Canelo spar way before they ever fought because they are of the same shield. And that's the part I think he would benefit from. Not changing your team, but maybe bringing somebody to give you a fresh look at something, and not a fresh look to say you're better, a fresh look to say, hey, here's a new wrinkle that you might like. And I think good coaches talk to each other like football. Hey, I love the way your son throws his hook. I love the way that your son pushes when he runs. I love the way he lifts weights. Whatever it is that you love about my fighter that you don't think your fighter has, I don't see a problem saying, hey, can I bring him in? Can we get some of that? That to me is the Kendrick of this sport. That to me is the shield of this sport. Coaches talk to each other all the times. Managers talk to each other on a personal relationship level, but they try to teach fighters that hurts you. A hungry dog is a hungry dog, whether he's eating out the bowl with his sister or he's eating out the bowl with his enemy. You can learn from anybody in any situation. But if it was me, I would definitely reach out and offer my assistance and ask them, what is it that you think we do that could enhance your guy?
You might get a call, Coach. You might get a call.
Coach, Ben Davidson is now
I'm on
building
mute.
up a track record. I'll put him on mute because I
No,
can
I
hear
was on
everybody.
mute. I was trying to, as I realized I wasn't talking. Go ahead. You
Okay.
good.
Coach, Ben Davidson is under the magnifying glass right now. He's got the scrutiny coming his way, whether it's deserved or it's not deserved. That's personal opinion, but he is under the magnifying glass. Why? He's getting to build. He's building a pattern up right now, and it seems like Don Charles may have his number, right? Like it seems like Don Charles may have his number. That being said, right now, #1 ranked in most sanctioning bodies, but specifically the WBO sanctioning body ranking is his other fighter, who is arguably the #1 sought after future of the heavyweight division in Moses Itoma, right? This is the guy who they think is going to shake the division up, and he's Ben Davidson's fighter. He's next up for Daniel Dubois for that title at the WBO. Ben Davidson, man, always been somebody who I've looked at as one of the freshest up-and-coming young trainers in the game, right? He works with Anthony Joshua. Obviously, we know that he has a relationship with Devin Haney as far as film studies concerned. Where are you on Ben Davidson now after this performance with Fabio Worley? Because you're giving Fabio Worley his flowers. You see all of the potential in him, but I mean, come on. No adjustments, nothing. You know what I'm saying? For said, we didn't see Fabio change up the cadence. We didn't see him use that jab. We didn't see him slow the fight down. He's winging these big right hands the whole fight. And then you compound that with the damage this guy took. It seems like there was a disconnect there. Is that young trainer things? Or, from a trainer's point of view, could that happen to anybody? What do you think?
I think it can happen to anybody. But I want to say this to any trainer, especially young trainer, who feel like they're getting put on a pedestal and they soak it all in. Remember that pedestal that you were put on by the same people that could snatch it from under your feet. So never get comfortable. Never say the same thing works. I think you and I and Reyes talked and asked me, how do we prepare for each guy? And I'm gonna be honest. If I have a boxer, I'm preparing for each guy because my boxer is a boxer, primarily maybe counterpuncher. But when I got a monster, I'm not preparing for nobody. I'm gonna make them prepare for me. I'm gonna make my monster do what my monster does. And we're going to add one wrinkle that we're going to throw at a guy. We're going to take that wrinkle away the next time, change it with another wrinkle. Because a monster needs 1, a boxer needs 12. And sometimes I think a lot of these guys that have monsters, they're preparing them or training them like the other guy has the potential to beat them. And sometimes I think you put certain mental factors in a fighter's head. Watch out for the right hand. Watch out for the right hand. And we see a fighter slipping away from a punch that never came at him and getting caught with a counter that he never even thought about was coming.
That's great. That was leading into my next point. Now, I was talking to Clay about this and Angelo, and I was talking about the next opponents possibly after he does take a long break. And I said, I think both big babies are out of the question. I think they would stop him right now or beat him. I don't want to say stop. But to my opinion, I like the fact that you have Richard Torres. I like the American situation with Wilder, Richard Torres. Then you have Perro, Erkovich, and Joseph Parker rematch. I think those are all great comeback fights for him. I think the Joseph Parker rematch would be the greatest. But can you see him, and like you were just saying about him training and getting different things, can you see them putting into his mind the intuitions or the thought process of what situational you may get in or situations you get in the ring when you're facing your opponent? Like what countermeasures you have? Because I think at the same time, we didn't see, as Clay mentioned, no countermeasures. It was just like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You got a big right hook. We've seen you pull it out before. Now, do you come with another search saying, hey, let's get in there, start boxing, using a jab, going to the body, changing levels? Or do you try to stick to the same game plan because you know you can beat the last guys I mentioned?
to me, if you go in with the same style and you don't make any adjustments and you want to stick with what you did and say that was a bad night, then in that situation, you go right at those guys coming up next. But if you want to say that was a bad night and we need to make some adjustments, if we make the adjustments or we bring in another coach to be helpful, I got to get one in before then. I hate to say, I need somebody who I know if push come to shove, round 7, 8, 9, and 10, I can tell him go look for the stoppage because that's what we need. I don't want to put his psyche on blast before I've had a chance to see how his psyche works. Now, if he's of the level where he has to take certain fights and he can't get other fights, then I'm going to bring in the best heavyweight I can. And I'm going to get a 12-round simulated fight with headgear, cup, and all that. But I want you all to take it as a fight. And if I got that type of money, I'm going to bring in 3 experienced judges. And I want all 3 of those judges to actually judge that fight in my gym. And if I see what I'm looking for, then cool, let's go ahead and jump out there. If I don't see what I'm looking for, as a coach, I'm going to say, hey, we need 3 more months. We need 6 more months. This is not a guy who does not have control, meaning he can't call the promoter and say we need a little more time because there's too much money in him. So instead of thinking about immediate reprisal of fortune, think about immediate reprisal of potential greatness.
I love it. I love it. Hey, it sounds like you're on the move, Coach. Hey, are you sold on Nahir Albright?
Oh, I think that's gonna be a great fight. That Nahir Albright fight, please don't get it mistaken. That's gonna be a damn good fight. That's gonna be a damn good fight. Nahir Albright, to use the gym tone, the gym language, he ain't got no bits in him. He ain't got none. And at some point in time, I think I tell my son, let me use an analogy. I tell my son, God only allows you to have the magic dust as long as you respect it. When you disrespect the magic dust, then he moves it to another person. And when I say that, I mean Keyshawn is one of the magic dust guys. God has blessed him with that magic dust. And magic dust is your talent, work ethic, and continuous action in one direction. The talent part, that's the magic dust. When God takes the magic dust away, I don't care how hard you work, I don't care what else you do, you're ordinary. And if we don't want to see, we may be seeing the beginning of him becoming ordinary. You never know. Nahir Albright is a guy who's had to work hard. I don't put him in the talent. When I say talent, the magic dust elite category. But maybe Nahir Albright has worked so hard to where he's lucky now. Lucky is the intersection of hard work and opportunity. That's what brings luck. He has already put the hard work in. We've seen that. Maybe this is the opportunity, and hard work and opportunity, this may be his luck. He may never have the magic dust, but remember, Freddie Pendleton had, I want to say, 13 losses when he got a chance for a world title, and he became a world champion over someone who had the magic dust. Ali at some point lost the magic dust. One of my favorite fighters, Roy Jones Jr., at some point he lost the magic dust. He been making the same mistakes everybody else did, but the magic dust made it where he didn't have to pay like everybody else does. And this may be the night that the magic dust goes away and the luck is there for the other guy.
Hey, Coach, 2 questions to follow up with that real quick, Coach. So one is, are you going to be there to watch that fight live? Because I hear they got like a whole arena full of tickets, so I'm sure it's going to be easy for you and everybody to go. And then my second question is, Coach, when we getting Nahir to come over to Zuffa, man? Come on, make the call. Tell the young man it's the best thing for Albright to come join the club.
Hey, right now I got to say Nahir is in a position where he is gambling.
Oh, he frozen.
Where he can go wherever he wants. Oh, sorry about that. If he wins against Keyshawn Davis, Nahir has bet on Nahir, he can go wherever he wants and damn near write a successful check for himself because an opportunity will open up. He had the Kelvin Davis win. He had the draw with Frank Martin. And then to come back and beat Keyshawn, you can't tell me that he doesn't deserve a world title shot because he did more in 3 fights than some guys do in their entire career, and they get title shots.
Coach, top 10, a win over Keyshawn Davis. Is Nahir Albright top 10 140 pounder?
With the win over Keyshawn, Nahir Albright is top 3. Because, and I'm going to say this, with a win or a loss, with a win by knockout or a win by decision, is Keyshawn Davis going to be screaming for a title shot and everybody going to say he deserves one?
Nope.
He's going to scream for it, and he got the backing where they'll put him in a top 4 position.
Well, you saying Keyshawn will be, if he loses to Nahir Albright, Keyshawn gets a title shot?
No. If he wins by knockout or by decision, will Keyshawn Davis be considered a title shot guy and be a top 4 guy?
Oh, legitimately, I think he is that right now. I think people can argue that they want to put him in that conversation right now. So a win over Nahir Albright, they're going to throw him right in there.
So if that's the case and Nahir Albright beats him or knocks him out, why wouldn't Nahir Albright deserve the same situation coming off his last 3 performances, including Keyshawn if he gets that win? And then on top of that, comparing it to Keyshawn's last 3 situations, Nahir Albright will give you a better argument for that.
I agree with you. I think there's an argument. Yeah, I think he's but Keyshawn coming over to Jimmy and Ortiz. Yeah, bottom line is I think, top 10 for sure, maybe top 5. I don't know about top 3, but I get your logic behind it, though. If he stops Keyshawn Davis, man, without a doubt, you got to put his name in the right conversation because arguably he beat Frank Martin. I think most people I know felt like he beat Frank Martin. They didn't feel like it was a draw.
Yeah. If you put the last 3 performances or last 3 scheduled outings, you put the last 3 scheduled outings that Keyshawn has had, and you put the last 3 scheduled outings that Albright has had, and you count each one of those as a poker chip, you mean to tell me Keyshawn's poker chips are worth more than Nahir Albright's poker chips?
I think there's an argument there is. I think Kelvin Davis is domestic. I think that's a domestic level win for him. I think Frank Martin is good. That's his best win, clearly. And then, you beat Keyshawn. That is what it is. But if you take out Keyshawn, you're gonna have to say Gustavo Limos shaking up the whole entire building, huge. Then you got to go. Baranchek picked up a title, huge, right? He blows weight, doesn't make the fight happen with De Los Santos, but I think that Jermaine Ortiz fight holds a lot of weight as well because now he has a common opponent with Teofimo Lopez, and Vasily Lomachenko. I don't know if I would say that Nahir Albright's resume holds more weight than Keyshawn.
In the last 3 fights, Jermaine Ortiz, we're starting from their fight against each other and working backwards. Their fight against each other. Then you have Jermaine Ortiz give it a big win. But then you also have to take a double-sided step back because he missed weight. He showed up to the fight eating, and then he assaulted another fighter after. Now, when you take Nahir Albright and you say him and Keyshawn, that's the first one. We'll step that back. Then we take the Frank Martin, which we all saw and think was a win, and then beating Kelvin in his own hometown. That outweighs a guy who, once again, didn't make the weight. Then we go to a win over Jermaine. Jermaine is good, but Jermaine is not anybody that you're going to consider 10 elite without the promoter he has. He's an average guy at best. And then the fight with Albright. You mean to tell me that does not give any tip of the hat in favor of Nahir Albright?
I don't know, man. I'm not going to lie to you. The one thing that's going to be real is that missing that weight. That is horrible. You know what I'm saying? That just kind of like that's like a 10-8 round. You know what I'm saying? In comparison, it's a bad round for him. But I still think at a minimum, I give it a draw. I don't think I'm gonna give Nahir Albright the guy over. I'm gonna give him a draw because Keyshawn comes with so much. He's such a movement. He rocked his city. He packed the building out. He was coming off such a high momentum going into the De Los Santos fight. Everybody came out for him. The loss would set him back, but I just think Keyshawn's accomplished more. He's a more decorated fighter than Nahir Albright. But I don't know, draw, bro. I'm gonna give him a draw.
Based on the last 3 only, that's not a missing weight, assaulting a fighter, and then coming and eating in front of the people you miss weight on. That's not a 10-8 round. A 10-8 round is I got dropped. That's a 10-8 round where I got dropped. Then I threw a low blow twice and lost a point.
And disqualified.
Yes, thank you. We gotta stop. And not you, but just in general, we gotta stop putting pearl glasses on with guys we like, and then taking the pearl glasses off for guys we don't like. If I put 2 silhouettes up and just put their last 3 fights, including them against each other, and said just based on silhouettes and outcomes, which one are you putting your money on? There's no way in hell you're gonna tell me you putting it on Keyshawn.
Nope.
But you will change your mind the minute I put faces with them. That's not cool. That's not fair to the fighters. Either you're basing it on silhouettes and accolades, or you're basing it on the cutest smile, the best haircut. Because if you're gonna do that, then you should be giving Keyshawn complete fucking hell for constantly going at Abdullah Mason. But then when somebody go at him, he played a mental health card. You can't do it both ways.
Coach, I agree with you on that part right there. You know, it's like what Greg Hackett called it out, right? You got Keyshawn Davis, who's a tremendous fighter, who is, pulling up on young Abdullah Mason with all that energy. But you got a Cuban father and a Dominican uncle that you don't have that same energy for. Shout out to Greg Hackett for that video when he made the crash out on Keyshawn Davis. You got Andy Cruz running around calling you my son, my son. Andy Cruz, in my opinion, beat Muratalla, right? And then Keyshawn Davis is celebrating like he won. I don't like this generation when a fighter's rival celebrates the other guy's loss, like if he's the one that beat him. You dig what I'm saying? I don't like that, bro. And that's what he did when Andy Cruz lost. He was celebrating as if he beat Andy Cruz, but he never showed Andy Cruz the same energy and the bravado that he showed towards Abdullah Mason and everybody else that he's called out. Where's the energy? I don't want to hear, Andy Cruz ain't do nothing. All the great fighters, first of all, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, for sure.
First of all the great fighters ran it back, and I'm going to go back. Mike Tyson lost to a guy named Henry Tillman, right? He fought him in the pros. He knocked him out, right? Miguel Cotto took a loss to a Russian by the name of Abdullah. I don't want to butcher his name, but the Russian went on to be a gold medalist. That was Miguel Cotto's first Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend fight in the Garden. Cotto broke his eye and ended the guy's career. You know what I'm saying? He got that get back. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Shea Mosley tried to get his get back with Vernon Forrest, right? So why Keyshawn Davis is not trying to follow in that trend and taking out this guy that's out there calling you his son, who's a decorated amateur, who you still get credit for if you beat him, even if he only has 5 fights. Why? Don't play that A-side shit with Andy Cruz. Get that get back. We're in the pros now. Where's that energy? We don't see that today nowadays, man.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm on Keyshawn's side when it comes to the Andy Cruz conversation. I just think the pros is different, and I feel like, Andy, first of all, he's at 135, arguably should be at 130. You know what I'm saying? He probably shouldn't be, but a 140 conversation, I just don't see Andy Cruz in that conversation. If I'm Keyshawn Davis's people, I'm not looking at Andy Cruz until Andy Cruz makes it make sense. Make the win, get the signature win, get the title fight, bring me something to the table. The whole thing being held over my head is Keyshawn Davis that I gotta rectify something that happened in the Olympics. Blah humbug, bro. No, I don't, bro. I became a champion, and I'm over here in the biggest conversations right now. It'd be a complete favor to Andy Cruz for me to give him an opportunity, and there's nothing in it for me, bro, except for a couple of fans that are gonna all of a sudden give me my props. I don't need no props from the fans, bro. Andy, bring something to the table, bring money to the table, bring a title to the table, bring something to the table for me, or I'll see you when I see you, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it.
Let me just salute everybody, Lo.
Hey, hold on. Coach Hackett's trying to say something, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to jump out of here, guys. I'll talk to you later, Coach. Nice seeing you again. All right, guys. I'll catch you later.
Salute.
I disagree 100%. Let me go back to my amateur coaching days. I'm going to dial it back. And in the amateurs, all the guys of their generation, especially the ones that made it to international boxing, they all know each other as intimate as you can. The highest rate of testosterone is pumping in your body between the age of 13 and 27, 28. That testosterone is pumping. During the years
Coach, you're breaking up bad. You're breaking up. I don't know if you're getting a phone call, but we don't hear you at all. I don't even hear myself. Normally, I hear myself if I'm talking.
You got to start over, Coach. You got to
Yeah.
start over. You're breaking up.
Yeah, I think he's
Coach.
literally broken.
That's why I respect Puerto Rico.
Coach, start over because you broke up.
Oh, my apologies. I said during those years when your testosterone is pumping at its hardest, he owns.
Yeah, it's bad.
Let me
Coach,
go
we
out
don't
and
hear
come
you.
in.
We don't hear you. Yeah, go back out and come back in.
Yeah, sorry, Coach. Yeah.
Yo, Clay, real quick, man, just to give you some shoot back on what you said. When Cotto went and got his get back, he got it with two guys that beat him in the Olympics, right? He did it against the guy that he actually took the W. I think he won the WBO junior welterweight strap against Kelson Pintor of Brazil, right? He fought him in Puerto Rico. The guy that beat Cotto in the amateurs. Cotto got it back in blood. And then he got back with Abdullah Abdullayev. That was his name. He got it back in blood. You know, Mike Tyson got Henry Tillman out. That was a little bit later in their careers, but he got him out. So in this sense, there's different type of fights in boxing. You got money fights that people build up. You let those marinate. Andy Cruz is not a marination fight. That's something you take care of early off the rip. It could have been a marinated fight, but look what happened. If it was marinated, Andy Cruz took a little setback and Keyshawn moved up in weight. You feel what I'm saying? Had Keyshawn handle that earlier, just like Coach was breaking down and going at Keyshawn's resume, he probably would have been a little bit more hesitant to go at Keyshawn's resume because Keyshawn would have had the scalp of the guy that beat him in the amateurs, who was a two-time Olympic gold medalist to my knowledge, bro. So there's no excuse for that. The man was at 135, bro. He could have fought Andy Cruz.
Without a doubt, it's a fight I'm very interested in seeing, but I'm definitely able to see it also from Keyshawn Davis's point of view. I think prize fighting, professional boxing is just a little bit different when you get into this conversation as far as where he's at right now. It's just like I've been blessed to be fast-tracked in a space to where these huge opportunities are out here, and I'm not turning down not one of those opportunities to go back and fight you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to come up here. You got to do the work. You got to win the right fights. Do what you got to do. I'm, as a fan, understand. As a fan, I want to see that fight without a doubt. But, you know, just being honest from Keyshawn Davis's point of view, I'm looking at Dalton Smith. I'm looking at Devin Haney. I'm looking at, you know what I'm saying, Gary Antoine Russell. I'm looking at these opportunities, maybe of Vasily Lomachenko, maybe a Pitbull Cruz. I'm looking at these paydays and these opportunities that I've worked my whole life. I've been boxing since 9 years old. This guy, it ain't my fault this guy started his professional career late. It ain't my fault this guy, you know what I'm saying, is where he's at right now. He just ain't in the right spot for me right now. And I don't need to fight him. You know what I'm saying? I can fight him, but I think he owes me something too, which is make it a big fight. Build yourself up. Make it something for me. Give me a belt. Give me some money. Do something for me, because without a doubt, I'm reaching back, grabbing you by your hand, and pulling you up to my level right now. I'm blessing you with a fight. I'm getting nothing from it except for some celebration from fans who may be the worst set of boxing fans in decades, right? So in other words, I don't even like Shakur and like Tank, like these fighters don't even want to give the fans something because they're like, these dudes don't even really follow boxing like that, support us the right way, cut us down so easily. So it is what it is. I'll give you the fight, but make it make sense for me, bro. If it make, scratch my hand, do something for me. And I don't see Keyshawn or his team looking at Andy Cruz as somebody who does something for for him significant enough to be like, I'm going to put my opportunities on hold to make this fight happen and get this opportunity. Nah, bro, come up my way. Otherwise, we looking at Devin. We looking at Pitbull Cruz. We looking at Dalton Smith. We looking at Conor Benn. We looking at Ryan Garcia. We looking at these big money fights, bro, and we ain't derailing that for no damn Andy Cruz bullshit. Hold on one second. Coach Hack is back in the building, but I also want to bring up Treese, man. Treese, what's good with you, man? Midwest Mafia. Hey, Treese, what's going on with Albert Bell and Andy Cruz? Now that we talking about Andy Cruz, what's going on with Albert Bell, bro? What's going on? Talk to me.
Yow.
Yow.
You know exactly what I was here for. I'm hearing all this Andy Cruz speak. Man, cruising for a bruising. That's all that's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, man.
He ducking and dodging my fighter. That's all I got for you. You see me? The fight was supposed to been made. You know, my guy signed his end of the bargain. I don't know what's going on. I thought we was going to get on the Xander and Boots undercard. I know Andy Cruz is trained by Bozy. I don't know why that fight wouldn't have been on that undercard. It would have made perfect sense to me. But, hey, what can I say? That's neither here nor there.
Do you feel like, I'm going to ask you straight up because I got to get to Coach Hack because everybody want to hear him. He been cooking. He cooking me right now, by the way. But I got to take the cooking. It is what it is. He cooking me right now. I happen to be in the wrong side of the conversation, so I'm about to catch hell. But Treese, is Andy Cruz ducking Albert Bell?
Yes. A definitive yes. An emphatic yes, my guy.
It's a duck.
What they say, if he not ducking, he damn sure dodging, my guy. He's evading my fighter, and I don't appreciate it. Albert Bell has deserved his opportunity for. Only thing that I might give him grace on is if Muratalla is peeking around the corner to see what Shakur doing at 140. Maybe they're holding off on the pin because if you know it's the IBF eliminator, this for the number one contender spot at Muratalla. But if Muratalla is going up, then they just gonna fight for the belt. Now that I'm definitely with that. So it's like, okay, maybe I'm gonna give him a little grace. But if he not ducking, he damn sure dodging. You understand me? But come on,
got
Coach.
you feeling some kind of way for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
man.
I got you.
Hold on real quick before Coach Hackett goes. I just want to give Treese a little hard time. So what's up, Treese? You get invited to this channel all the time, but you feel like showing up just to ask a question to Coach Hackett? What, me and Clay ain't good enough for you? Hold on. I'm not done, brother. I'm going to cook you. Me and Clay are not good enough for you. Apparently, you got to wait till Coach Hackett comes in for you to finally click on all the invites we be sending you all the time. But I get it, Treese. You got your own loyalty to other channels. You apparently don't like me and Clay that much.
I'm third shift. It's rare that I'm actually up right now. I'm third shift living. These be my sleep time. You feel me? I'll be getting up. I work late nights, so it's like usually I'm sleep during the day when y'all on. So you know,
me too. I'll be sleep too, but I ain't gonna lie. I gotta co-sign Angelo just a little bit, man, because all of a sudden, bro, Coach Hackett up here, like I gotta talk to Coach. I gotta ask Coach Hackett something. Whatever, bro.
Man, Coach got
whatever, bro. We good.
All the
Hey,
wisdom,
I'm mad at you, bro. You right. Hey, bro, that's Coach Bernard Hackett. I ain't mad, but I'm just saying. And another thing, you clearly be watching around that time. So don't tell me that sleeping shit. You just not coming up here, bro.
I got my eyes on everything, but I definitely be up under the covers as I'm watching. That's for the record. But go ahead, Coach.
Treese,
get on him, Coach.
Treese, your man was gonna get cooked. Your man was gonna get cooked, by the way, Treese.
And then you come up here when Coach is cooking me. So not only do you not come up here on the show, the only thing that seemed to interest you is my ass getting cooked. Pause. It is what it is.
Hold his feet to the fire, Coach. Get on him, Coach. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, Coach. Coach, you got to unmute yourself.
You muted, Coach.
Let me say this. I am super familiar with Albert. I love that fight. Would love to see that fight happen and take place. And if Keyshawn and him can't get it in, which it don't look like, both of them doing something different, I would also love to see that fight. Now, I do respect the fact that Coach said if he takes a bigger option, then they're cool with that, and that's why he's holding up the pin. I'm cool with that. I respect that. That's a coach respecting the game, respecting the shield. But what I'm not going to do is say Keyshawn get a pass when you talk about fight Andy Cruz. When these kids know each other, and Coach, if you got amateurs in the gym, they live off rivalries in the amateurs. And if somebody owns you that much in the amateurs, and you got a chance to beat them on the world's biggest stage, which these guys are on, you can't tell me there's nothing other than a world title fight or a big money fight that make you do something different. When somebody says on your behalf, it's doing them a favor to reach back and pick up somebody. You can't reach back and pick up your daddy. You can't reach back and pick up your uncle. They gotta reach back and grab you. And if you do reach back and grab them, it's because they've been holding you up so long. We watched this man do the Michael Jackson moonwalk on the Olympics when he just beat you, and you still was in a camera talking like you just won a gold medal. At some point, I'm asking the media and the podcasters, hold these guys accountable to what they do. Because you can't tell me you got the rhythm for a young boy like Abdullah Mason, but then when everything go in reverse after when he lost, you gonna come and say I'm having mental issues when y'all pressure me? Come on, man, we not doing that. My son, I'm gonna use my son. My son was going through a lot of stresses mentally after the fight with Jose Roman, hearing what fans said or whatever. But that didn't change him. If he on your back, he on your back. My son just said he want to fight Xander. He didn't say only if Xander got a belt. He said, I still think Xander is a great fight. If Xander lose the boots and he move up to 60, I still want to fight him. Don't change your energies, because then that becomes this weird dynamic. You know, that's like that shit when they be talking about we brothers will never fight. Man, some of the best friends in boxing fought each other. If we in the same division, we got to find out who the best is. And right now, just looking at how the pitch has been going on the consistent landscape, I think he already thinks Shakur better than him. And I'm one of those people who think opposite. I think Keyshawn can beat him. But if you're going off what you put out there and your energies, don't be a lion when you in a pen full of chickens, but then you want to be a mediator when you got a gorilla in the cage with you. At the same, you gotta respect these guys who are the same all the time. I like James Toney. Win, lose, or draw, James Toney a dog. And he gonna slap the bartender if the bartender got an opinion based on not fighting and just being a bartender.
Yeah,
I'm under the impression that's why.
I hear it from a fan's point of view. From a fan's point of view, I really hear it. As far as, and even from a maybe even more importantly, from a boxing trainer's point of view, right? For understanding the meaning of taking those losses against a fighter repeatedly, not just once, not just twice, multiple times, right? The fact that there's no brushing that over. And I think that fight will always hold weight, no matter what the records show. A fight being announced between Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis will always be, there we go. That's a fight people want to see. But at the same time, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Keyshawn got a lot in front of him in comparison to what was behind him. Andy, we're waiting on you. That's how I look at it. We're waiting on you, Andy. You just took a loss against Raymond Muratalla, whether you guys believe he won it or not. He took that loss. Fight this eliminator, fight Albert Bell, get a title, and then you're probably going to have to weigh out making another move, which is going to 140 to find Keyshawn. And once you get into that situation where you go up into 140 with the accolades of becoming a champion and you earn your way, that fight returns to the table. It returns to the conversation. It's even bigger now because you're going to hope that Keyshawn does great things at 140. That fight gets better. It ages like wine, even though Andy Cruz is a little older, but there's work to be done. I ain't got no problem with Keyshawn forcing that man, especially I'm clearly I know people don't want to hear the A-side situation, but I'm clearly the guy who holds the cards, bro. So we can do it when I'm ready to do it and when it makes sense for me. And right now, it don't make sense for me. Not because I think I'm going to lose, not because of that, because you could do more work, bro. Do more work, bro. Get bigger. Get more popular. Make this fight bigger for me. That's why you can do that for me. And if you can't, then you don't need to fight because nobody, it's just like Ryan Garcia. It's like everybody's putting the pressure on him to fight Devin, right? But it's like, everybody already feels like I beat you, bro. Even though I got the PED thing, and even though all that happened, at the end of the day, you need to fight, not me. So make it worthwhile for me. Make it make sense for me. I don't got to do nothing. You got to do more than me. Or just walk around with, you lost to me, or I cheated, whatever. I don't care. The same thing with Andy. Walk around with those Olympic wins. Walk around with those amateur wins and hold them like a big trophy. But I think everybody knows you need to fight with me. I'm your biggest fight. You're not my biggest fight. I can go fight Ryan. I can go fight Isaac Cruz. I can go fight Devin Haney. Those are my biggest fights. My biggest fights are those. Those are my big money fights. Those are the fights that I can make history on. Don't nobody care about what happened between you and the amateurs, bro. Just the hardcore boxing fans, bro. Other than that, ain't nobody checking for everybody. You know what they looking for? They looking for you to get another win, bro. Get back in the win column with your 5-6 professional fights. Love you, boy. Shout out to Showbiz. You know what I'm saying? We ain't studying you. Hold on.
Hey, Coach, before you respond, and I know you want to respond a lot, I just want to say, Coach, this is exactly why Zuffa was going to work, because none of that A side, B side shit is ever going to be a problem. That's some bullshit, and you know it. But go ahead, Coach.
Facts. By the way,
let me ask Claymore this question. Did he have that energy when he sat on that stage right next to Abdullah Mason with no belt and less fights? When he said, "Tell Bob to give you a shot, you can get a shot at my belt right now." Was that the energy? Because Abdullah Mason, I think, was a step below Andy Cruz. So why are you telling Andy Cruz to go get all of these accolades, but you ain't asked Abdullah Mason to go do all that? Because you view that as an easy win? Once again, tiger in a cage with chickens always roars. A gorilla in a cage with you want to be a diplomat. Come on, man. Can't do it both ways.
Coach, respectfully, you know, there's a season for everything. Abdullah Mason is an up-and-coming phenom who was number 1 or number 2 on the WBO ranking. So you was coming my way anyway. You was getting ready. You was fighting for a mandatory spot anyway. And you're sitting next to me on the stage. So, yeah, I'm going to poke at you, bro. You're looking at me. You're breathing over here. You think you'll be everybody out here. But Abdullah Mason didn't get in trouble for what Abdullah Mason did. Abdullah Mason got in trouble for what the fans did. You know what I'm saying? And because of what the fans did, and Keyshawn also probably was, you know, who knows what Keyshawn was going through, because hindsight says we don't know what he was going through. The man blew weight. He messed that whole weekend up. That was just a whole messy situation.
Man, he did that on purpose, Clay.
Hold on a second, Trees. At the end of the day, maybe he did. But what I'm saying is one doesn't affect the other one, right? Like what he did with Abdullah Mason, that was his personal reasons. Maybe he feels like that's a bigger fight. They're both on the same, they're both on top rank. I don't know. Maybe Bob told him to do it. Maybe they told him that fight was on the horizon. Maybe he's trying to get in front of it. I have no idea, right? But when we're talking about the Andy Cruz situation, one doesn't speak to the other one. Andy Cruz is on a different promotional company. Andy Cruz has 5 to 6 professional fights under his belt. Andy Cruz is not a big star. You know what I'm saying? And he's not tried true as a professional fighter. He's actually been buckled before against Antonio Moran. He's actually, you know, gone through his little adversities. We don't know who Andy Cruz is yet in the professional space. And then he jumps in the ring with Raymond Muratalla and loses the fight, even though some people feel like he went. By the way, I don't think so. I was calling the fight. I had Raymond Muratalla winning the fight, but it was a close fight for sure, competitive fight. But Keyshawn, he has all the leverage in this conversation. And he just got to keep doing a little more, bro, and just make it make sense for Keyshawn. That's all. That's what I think.
I'm still under the impression.
Go ahead, Coach.
The only leverage that Keyshawn Davis has is that he's with Jay Prince, and Top Rank is the bigger promotion company. If you take away those pieces, then the leverage is even. Like I said, silhouette versus silhouette, you don't pick the same people. If you look at what he did with Abdullah Mason, and once again, that was the young boy, you ain't had that same energy for him. You didn't look, you can't tell me you can't use what I was going through 2 days later after you was attacking Abdullah Mason on the stage right next to you. You can't use what I was going through. And then on top of that, we got more reason to say he didn't want to make way for the De Los Santos fight, because he said, I'm not even going to attempt to lose any other weight. So even if I lose my belt, we can make the fight. If we want to go to that, we remember Tank Davis missing weight, made an attempt, lost his belt in the scale, then went out there and knocked the dude out. When you compound everything that you just said, you got a guy who's a proven picker and chooser. He pick and choose which people I'm gonna assault and which people I'm not gonna assault. And that is not somebody that I'm gonna say I'm throwing all my chips behind as a fan, when you got other fighters out here saying I'll take on anybody. You got champions chasing guys without belts. But you got a guy talking about go get a belt first before we can make something like this happen. You can't get credit for that. I can't give you credit for that.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the Abdullah Mason argument. I think that is what it is. I didn't like it either too much. I'm like, what are you doing? But that don't legitimize the Andy Cruz conversation. For me, it don't. The Abdullah, it don't legitimize. I think Andy's a great fighter. I think that's a fight that the boxing space will love when it happens. But man, I just got to be honest, bro. I would rather see, I'll say it like this. I'd rather see Keyshawn fight Devin before he fought Andy. I'd rather see him fight Ryan Garcia before he fought Andy. I'd rather see him fight other fights that I think are more exciting than fighting Andy, who looked regular against Raymond Muratalla, who the power didn't translate for Raymond Muratalla, who I seen get hurt by Omar Salcido, who I seen get hurt by Antonio Moran, who's only got 6 professional fights. I want to see the fight just off the strength of a history they had outside of their professional career. But nothing in Andy Cruz's professional career makes me want to see him fight Keyshawn more than I want to see Keyshawn fight other people. I just think he's in an unfortunate space, man. That's all. I think he just has to be ready to do more, and I think he can do more, and hopefully he will do more, and I think we do see the fight. But right now, I ain't mad at Keyshawn for night fight Andy. I know you guys are, but I'm not.
So how do you justify if Ryan or Devin says the same thing about Keyshawn? Because they have the right to say the same thing, and you got to hold the same energy. Keyshawn is a up and coming star at the end of the day, which shows by the way that the bad situation that he just had, it's showing in the way that the tickets aren't selling now for the fight. If this happened with Tank Davis, or we use Tank missing weight, that didn't change the price of them tickets, and his very next fight happened as scheduled. This fight you can go get a ticket at the front door at a discounted rate. You don't even need a scalper to give it to you for $20. You can get it from the door.
I agree. I agree with those points, right? I really do. But he's still one fight. If he knocks out Nahir Albright, he's right back up top, bro. Norfolk goes crazy for him. The boxing space goes crazy for him. He don't need Andy Cruz, bro. And by the way, I do see Devin Haney and all those bigger stars, and I think he is humble too. He understands, like, I got to make my name up, bro. There's no reason for these guys to give me a shot. But he's in those conversations. You know what I'm saying? I'm completely on board with Devin Haney being like, you ain't done nothing for me to be giving you no shot. I'm completely on board with a lot of fighters saying that. I think Keyshawn knows that, and I think that's why Keyshawn wants as big of a fight as he can get. But listen, I think it's unfortunate, but I think it's just the truth. I think it's an inconvenient truth. 5-6 professional fights with a loss on your record against Raymond Muratalla. There's more of an argument that I should fight Raymond Muratalla. Right now, if Keyshawn Davis fights Raymond Muratalla and beats Raymond Muratalla, does he still owe Andy Cruz a fight? For real?
Yes. How do you take away one for another? Once again, you can't tell me because a guy gets one win that eliminates the fact that I seen ownership over you by another guy who, once again, they would sell the same amount of tickets. When these promoters put these fights together, they also look at the size of the venue they putting you in. You ain't that big of a star when they putting you in a 3,000 seat building. You ain't filling up no arenas. That I won't say the fans. The promoters have such great relationships with the overall media that you put their guy as a superstar baby without him doing nothing, only because he signed. If a guy signs to a promoter on Monday, even if you didn't know him, you're gonna say Top Rank signed this guy, so he's the next superstar. You gotta do something first. You saw Muhammad Ali give a guy who had 7 fights an opportunity at a world title. You saw Muhammad Ali lose. You've seen great fighters. You saw Lomachenko get a title with less than 5 fights against seasoned veterans, and he beat him. These are the things that we got to stop saying because I think so. This is a combat sport. This and UFC are the last 2 sports where if you say you're that man, it's ways for you to prove you are that man. You got guys in the UFC who won titles and they ain't had but 4 fights. You can't do this number of fight argument and say because you ain't got 30 fights, but then the same guy you say
that you lost.
No, listen to what I'm saying. You can't. When you say the number of fights, it doesn't matter. He lost to a champion. So that's not looked at as he lost to a guy who was unranked. He lost to a champion. And it was a close fight. When you talk about he only had this many fights, Keyshawn didn't have a gazillion fights when he fought for a title.
But he won his fight.
Once again, Top Rank has the greatest matchmakers in boxing. The greatest. Everybody says it. Top Rank can make a pillow-fisted guy look like the next Mike Tyson. If you look at guys who they've created in the lab, when Top Rank get mad at them, they say, "Hey, now you got to fight somebody." This is the promoter saying, "Now you got to fight somebody," and then they lose.
But Top Rank also has a history of winning in the big fight. They have a history of their fighters. Yes, they give them matchmaking, but they build their fighters up, and they also have a very good history of when they get into the big fights, they win them. They win the big fights.
If I own the casino, I'm gonna always win more than I lose.
Facts. I mean, listen, Andy Cruz picked his poison. He with Eddie Hearn. It is what it is. But anyway, it's about that time damn near for me too. I gotta go to work tonight. Hold on, Lo. Let me let Lo tap it right quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Coach cook me. I got cooked. I don't mind getting cooked. I get cooked by Coach because that's Coach Bernard Hackett. You niggas do it. You niggas do it.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on what Reyes and the other guy was saying. The guy that got off the panel, he was on earlier. Reyes, you were saying something that you heard Tio and Kambosos is going to fight.
There's word that Lou DiBella's talking with Zuffa right now about Kambosos.
And what weight class?
No, it'd be 47 because Tio's going to 47, so it's 47.
Okay, yeah. Now another thing, because I know you guys are, when it comes to Zuffa shit, y'all about to be what what's my man's name? Show business to the zone. You and Clay. I'm speaking that into existence. Reyes and Clay, Zuffa are gonna be part of Zuffa. So with that being said, is this supposed to be a Zuffa headliner or a co-main event based on what you know?
I can tell you that things are definitely changing, and I can't speak too much on certain, because remember how I kept saying, it was 4 weeks ago, I kept telling you guys there's going to be a July 12th show. They're trying to make it a really big arena show rather than the Apex. Certain people have to sign certain contracts in order for that to happen. You could already see it starting to change. Clay already read a Fox Australia about how Jai's fight won't be till August. Although I will say, Clay, I think that's a ruse. I still think Jai's fighting in July, and I still think the date of July 12th, because Jai's training his ass off, bro. And you don't train this early to fight in August. I think he's fighting in July, but we'll see. But from what I heard, Lo, or from what I'm hearing, there's supposed to be an announcement coming soon about Tio, and if the Tio Kambosos is signed at 147, that's supposed to be on International Fight Week for July 12th. So
okay, because from what I heard on Punch Drunk's channel, Senior and Tio had once said also that they're gonna come back like in the fall, like maybe September or something like that.
That's possible too. That means people aren't signing the contracts that they're supposed to sign.
And because of that, I was thinking maybe Brian Norman, because Brian Norman, if he handles business Saturday and smokes this guy without getting any punishment, he will be right for a September fight.
That's possible. I know that Clay said it. Brian Norman signed his extension with Top Rank, so he clearly wants to stay that route. But Zuffa's doing big things, man. I mean, I don't need to tell you. Yeah, Zuffa's doing big things.
Well, no, he didn't sign an extension. When he won that title, he got an extension. He's extended.
It was automatic then, right, Clay? It was the automatic extension. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm sure Brian Norman would love to be in Zuffa too, but you just can't say it publicly.
Who knows? It is what it is, guys. Listen, man, I appreciate all you guys coming up here. It's about that time for me. It's about 6 o'clock. I got to get this together, man. I got to run tonight. Got to go to Jersey and come back. It was good, man. Keyshawn Davis this weekend gets Nahir Albright. I think it's a great fight, litmus test for both guys. I think this is really a big opportunity for Nahir Albright, man. I'm looking forward to see him all that hard work, I hope it culminates into a great performance on Saturday. Keyshawn Davis, hey, good luck. Get your city back on your back, man, because your city kind of questioning you right now. Well, I'm hearing the ticket sales ain't looking good. I ain't gonna lie. I'm hearing the ticket sales ain't looking good. But hey, man, the right performance could put the city right back on your back. I'm looking forward to see Brian Norman Jr. get back in the ring, looking to see how that dynamic with him and Ronnie Shields works out for him, and see if he adds a little more wrinkles to his game, if he could slow the fight down a little bit. Last fight he had with Devin Haney, he was smothering a lot of his work. He was jumping in there, smothering a lot of the work. There was, I want to see him make those adjustments and see those little tweaks happen to make me more optimistic. He's in a great position right now in the welterweight division, a division where the best ain't fighting the best yet. You got Rohan Polanco there. You got Tiger Johnson. You got a lot of 147 pounders that are moving around in there. I want to see you do something special this weekend, Brian Norman Jr. Shout out to the Davis brothers. I'm looking forward to see Keon do his thing, debuting at 154 this weekend. What? Yeah, let's see what Keon do as well. And I think there's something else going on Netflix too.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, just real quick announcement. So for all of you guys who are watching the boxing and you have the zone, tomorrow 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh yeah, Donovan
noon, Pacific time. Hold on, let me do the announcement. Let me do the noon Pacific time is Karen Kukazakian versus Patty Donovan's the main event, and then there's 4 heavyweight fights. The co-main event is Odiase, who's another heavyweight to look at, somebody that Mozzie will probably end up fighting at some point in his career. He's the co-main event. It's a big event in Germany. So again, the zone tomorrow night, 11:45 Pacific time. It'll be about 3 p.m. Eastern time right there. And I don't know, Clay, are we doing a watch party for that or not?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
What time does it come on?
3 p.m. Eastern. Because you don't work on
Very
Saturday,
possible.
right?
Very possible.
Or Friday night, right? So
right. Very possible.
I say we do a watch party, baby. Heavyweights.
Hey, I might do it. I want to see Karen and Patty, man. Patty had that fight with Lewis Crocker. I don't know, Patty, man. I was very high on Patty. I'm still high on Patty. Fuck that. I'm still high on Patty.
Yeah, be high on Patty, bro. Patty doesn't suck.
No. I'm not saying. I'm just telling you. I was high on him, but that loss against Lewis Crocker, I felt like was sort of a setback. But I'm high on Patty Donovan, and he's still with Andy Lee, right?
Yes.
So I'm super high on him, but Karen is a real test. That's a great fight. We might call it tomorrow. There's a good chance we might call it.
Yeah, Karen gave Boots a hard time. Apparently, that's what the space is saying.
That motherfucker
Karen gave Boots
24. Man, that's not a hard time. But I got one question before I go, man.
Go ahead, Trees.
This is ATP. It stands for Appreciate the Platform. But real quick, I got a question, man. Are you doing a live fight chat for Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano this Saturday? Netflix.
That's what I was saying. I don't know. Maybe is it maybe? I'm not covering that over Keyshawn and Nahir Albright, bro.
Yeah, we might do.
I don't know if you're gonna do it over. I'm just
TV thing.
I'm just curious.
We might do a 2 TV thing.
Hey,
and by the way, Trees, we totally did UFC 328. The event was wild. Where were you, bro?
I was out with my guys watching that. I couldn't have called in if I wanted to. It was a lot of commotion going on where I was at. Shout out to Dave and Buster's. We was out hanging out, kicking it. But yeah, man. Like I say, Andy Cruz ducking and dodging my fighter. He cruising for a bruising. ATP, appreciate the platform, man. We gone. Watch all your combat sports and eat your vegetables, gang. I'm gone.
Early. Hey, salute everybody in the building. Salute Coach Hackett. Nice sparring session with you, Coach. That was a good one, man. You know what I'm saying? That was good. That was good stuff, man. Andy, good luck in your next fight, brother. That's all I can say. Coach Hackett want to see you do some great things. Good luck in your next fight, bro. I'm looking forward to see that win. You know what I mean? Do what you. Hey, Albert Bell, bro. Take care of what's in front of you, and then we'll talk Keyshawn a little bit later. We in 2 different weight classes. Keyshawn got work right now. He got to do in front of him, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to Low Nose. His channel should still be pinned in the channel. Subscribe to Low Nose Boxing, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Low Nose Boxing, because Low Nose Boxing, bro.
Good looking, man. Salute to the chat, man. Thanks a lot. You have a blessed weekend, all right?
Salute. Peace.
Aim for the top line. Hello. Yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles. That I'm in my element, it's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got there, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. But known for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business.